Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Goglings, Gogorifics, Gog Peoples of the World Unite. Welcome, everybody, to the, as always, on Tuesdays, episode 312 this time of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Eleron. This is the show that focuses on story and narrative in games. And today, I am happy to present, for the second week in a row, D&D. It is Ghosts of Saltmarsh with the GOG RPG crew. I'm very happy to have them with us, and I'm happy to have, of course, all of you with us. And before we go any further, just a couple of quick reminders how to support us here in the channel. If you haven't done so already, please follow us here on GOG.com's Twitch channel. Please, if you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to us here on GOG.com's Twitch channel, because that is something which will support not only the channel, but all of the individual streamers on it. And please consider clicking through and checking out all of our individual channels as well, because we have our own subsystems and Patreons and all that kind of good stuff, the support of which is really, really helpful. But today, I am extremely pleased to say that we have got ourselves a new session. That's right, a second session in a row of Ghosts of Saltmarsh. And again, for those of you who missed this announcement, the reason we don't have Talisman Adventures this month is because one of our players, Tasty Chai, has unfortunately had to take a step back. She is just overwhelmed with family responsibilities. And so as a result, she cannot be a part of the stream anymore, although hopes to join us again at some point in the future, but just can't commit to it right now. And I totally understand that, obviously. And so unfortunately, Chai has to take a step back from Talisman Adventures. The good news is that we were kind of in a little bit of a break point so that the restart is going to be a good spot to kind of pick up again. The other three members, of course, will still be part of that campaign, and we will be adding a fourth member soon. We should be back in business with Talisman Adventures next month. By the latest, certainly by March, we'll be back in the saddle on Talisman Adventures. But the good news about all that is that it means that we've got some more Ghosts of Saltmarsh for you today. And so with that, I am going to unmute myself and apologize unreservedly for interrupting anyone that I may have well interrupted without meaning to, because I can't hear them. And then I'm going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to head over to reveal the incredible, the amazing, that's right, it is the Ghosts of Saltmarsh crew. They have returned. They are here. They are prepared. I want you all to note that on Saber's window, it is Morthwheel Gogoniant and then Gloryhammer right above Morthwheel Gogoniant. So, like, I feel like it's Gloryhammer Morthwheel Gogoniant is now the full name, which I imagine is a DRM violation and a breaking of, moral and civil law, and they'll probably sue us if they ever find out. But no, I'm sure it'll be fine. But it's great to see everybody here with us and to see the amazing crew. And I will begin, as per usual, with the person right below me in our four-square setup here. And that, of course, is one Pyron Jade, whose audio setup is working, whose everything is working. It's all good. We're ready to go. And Pyron, how are you? It's good to see you. And who are you playing today?
It's good to know that we can point out that I didn't hold anything up by having audio problems.
Not at all.
I also just learned about Battenberg cake, which is marzipan on the outside. I don't know what the red squares on the inside is because we didn't get to that because then you unmuted us. But I definitely want to know. So yes, I'm fine. I actually played through a game, first playthrough of 2022 done, which was Strange Horticulture. I might do a second playthrough. It's a really good game. It's like a mix between a virtual novel and a point and click adventure, or a virtual novel and a puzzle game. It's not really expensive. Go buy it. Good game.
Yeah, you and Saber were both talking about this. What was it? Also, is it? Are there a lot of? Is there a lot of text, like potential text that could be voiced over, for example, by a voice team of mine? Maybe
there is text, but I wouldn't say it's like a lot of text, like not compared to many other virtual novels. But there's a set of recurring characters which are then represented by tarot cards that come into your shop again and again. But it's not like a massive load of text.
Okay.
But you could have somebody voice the book, and that would be cool because there's like a botanical book that you always have to read out. And if you had somebody like voice that book, I would love that.
Okay. I was just curious. I'm always looking for new things to throw at them. We're doing Planescape Torment right now, which is pretty wild with all of the voices, but it's obviously it's a lot in that game. So
yeah, that's a lot. It's not like that much. It's like I said, it's like between a mix of virtual novel and maybe a point and click adventure. It's playthrough, and I was playing slowly. Took me like 7 hours. I think Saber was a bit faster with like nearly 6 hours, I think.
Very comparable, I think, our playthrough times. It took me a couple of hours yesterday to finish it off.
Okay. And I got ending 8 and he got ending 1. Just saying.
All right. Yeah. So this is cool. I'm going to have to definitely check this one out. Who are you playing today, Pi?
I'm playing. Who am I playing today? I'm playing Waves Crashing Against Rocks today. I'm a Kenku paladin, so Kenku are bird people, and I actually was looking for if we have any feathers lying around from any art and craft projects. I wanted to stick them in my hair tonight, but I didn't find any. So yes, Waves Crashing Against Rocks, who just jumped into the water to help the water genasi, maybe. Because we're trying to steal a ship, and I'm really, really excited for that. So let's get on it.
I am excited for it as well. Always good to have Pyron with us. Also always good to have Darksaber with us. As per usual, I will thank Darksaber for the handling of Moobot and Dashboard because I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, good to see you, Saber. And I gather that you also have been playing this strange plant game and apparently enjoying it. So how you feeling about stuff? How's life with you, and who are you playing?
Life is very, very good. So yeah, Strange Horticulture was my second game I've beaten this year so far after finishing Soul Blazer on the SNES. And on top of that has been No Man's Sky. I made the mistake of picking up Gas Station Simulator after seeing 8-Bit stream earlier, so that's probably going to feature on a few streams coming soon. Just more of that. I'm on holiday from work at the moment, so I've just got like a week and a half of just putting my feet up, and I needed it because I did cover a lot of shifts over the holidays just to get loo days and things, and makes you look good. You want to put in the effort now and again for that.
Yes, indeed.
So, but tonight I will be kicking it with my friends here, and I will be Morthoil Gorgonian, who I should probably point out at this point, if anyone hasn't out of curiosity translated my name, does translate to, again, with Welsh you have to reverse it, so his name is Hammer Glory in Welsh. So you reverse
what you've done there. I see what you've done there. Outstanding. The reversal, it's beautiful visual. I love it. Yes.
Yep. So and I will be a cunning tinker supporting this raid against the ships.
I am looking forward to seeing how this raid goes down because, we were kind of in the midst of it, as we will talk about in just a moment. But always a pleasure to have Saber with us. Also, of course, always a pleasure to have one Mr. Peripheral Mike with us, who is looking good and hopefully feeling fine. Mike's, how's life in the universe going with you? We had a big discussion chat before, by the way, and the 3 people contingent from the United Kingdom have agreed that birthday parties are indeed parties, and you don't need any further context than that. We're just letting you all know that birthday parties are definitely parties. How are you doing, Mike? How's life in the universe with you, and who are you playing?
It's going really, really well, to be honest with you. Lots of little pet projects in the background are getting completed, which means that frees up more time, which means I will be able to start doing some more live streams. On the subject of that, I know at least one person in chat who reached out directly to me and said, when are you streaming more often? I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. I'll tell you this again later as well, so people at the end can hear it as well. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow with some new Lo-Fi Gaming episodes. So you can check that out. I'll tell you specific times tomorrow. But yeah, very, very excited for it. So lots of little pet projects now being completed. More projects are opening up as well, which is also exciting, but also time consuming, but you never know. I think that's the problem with being an adult, but I'm really, really excited to play some more D&D. I am playing Silvo Janus Betulus, our half-elven sorcerer with a slightly checkered past, who is a bit enamored with Morthwheel at the moment because Morthwheel has given him some pretty sage advice in regards to magic and the way magic actually works within the world, which it's not helped him understand what magic is within him, but it's helped him understand what magic is in the world, so he can start to put the first tiny pieces together in regards to where he fits in that story. Also screw the Tories, screw Boris Johnson, and hi everyone.
Where does that come from? I mean, I was just talking about birthday parties. I don't know.
Yep.
But always a pleasure to have Mike with us, and also always a pleasure for, of course, Ananda to be with us. And Ananda also confirmed that birthdays are definitely parties, so that was important that we all got that clear. But also that we are ready for this stuff. And I have to say, I'm looking forward, Ananda, to seeing whether or not, this should be the element of Brian, right? I mean, literally it's about get it. You're about to pirate a ship, and I feel like that's kind of in the job description for Brian. So I'm looking forward to that. How are you doing in life and the universe and everything? And who are you playing today?
I'm not doing too badly, thank you very much. Although I confirm birthday status, I'm going to steer directly away from anything political, and just say Happy Tuesday to everyone. I'm not doing too badly, thank you. I launched a couple of weeks ago, and it's now kind of a firm thing. More of a feature on my channel, which is Ananda's Indies. So I'm concentrating mostly on indie games.
Nice.
I was playing Disco Elysium today. I'm playing Valheim for the next couple of days and Hades on Friday, and then back here on Saturday. However, I can't. I'm stuck for choice. The sale at the moment on GOG is so amazing. I'm spoiled for choice. There are so many fantastic games on sale. So hopefully I will be choosing that soon, and that'll be on the schedule as soon as possible. But yes, Brian is kind of in her element, literally and metaphorically at the moment. I think it took her a little while to get her land legs, being off the ship for the first time for a long time on her own. But having been slightly useful in her abilities in the last few sessions,
Definitely,
I think she's gaining some confidence, and the trust in my cohorts is coming to fruition. We're planning things, which is always a good thing. And yeah, the session last week ended on a cliffhanger, and slightly tense about how it's going to go now.
it's going to be great. Yeah, it was almost literally a cliffhanger, except the two people that were on that, in quotes, cliff are now hanging out with Brian in the water, as we will discuss.
They are. They went for a swim. It's
for a
glorious.
Swim. And we will talk about that during our recap. So it is good to see everybody, and let's talk a little bit then about what happened last time. Let me pull up the map here. Certainly not that part of the map. We want this part of the map right over there. There we go. So let me fire up some music as well. I think we need some Ocean Voyage. Give me that Ocean Voyage. Where we go? Yeah, there, right there. Okay, lovely. I think we have. No, maybe not. Okay, let's do it that way. Let's go with this. Ah, yes, perfect. Okay, so in our last session, what the party did. Now, remember, the crew has been hired, or enlisted, I suppose, to try to help some of the good people of Saltmarsh break down a couple of smugglers. Didn't start out that way. First, the decision that they had to make was what exactly was going on with this allegedly haunted house to the north of Saltmarsh. And when the party went there, what they discovered was that the house was not in fact haunted, unless you consider being haunted by terrible smugglers to be a haunting. And this group of smugglers, led at least locally by someone named Sanballat, were trying to basically keep people away from the home by making it seem haunted, but not for our intrepid adventurers. After battling back giant weasels and snakes and various screaming effects and things like that, the party fought their way to the bottom, had to deal with Sanballat. Were not really successful initially in doing that because Sanballat was pretty powerful, but managed to escape with their lives. The party also then managed to gather some information about what it was that was happening with this, and discovered that there is a smuggling operation, as I said, being run out of that house, but that there is a ship, a smuggler's ship called the Sea Ghost, which is supposed to rendezvous with some of the smugglers at the house. Now, like any enterprising group would do, the crew did not say, well, let's turn this over to the authorities. No, what they decided they needed to do was to take the ship for themselves and to break the back of the smuggling operation. So that way, no smugglers, town's happy, and the crew has a ship. At least that's the principle. So the party made a decision that they would take a boat, a rowboat, which had been provided to them, a fishing boat, a very small fishing boat, and make their way up the coast. When they got close enough, then Brine would, using her water genasi heritage, slip into the water, stealthily swim alongside where Brine had already had a chance to kind of scout out the area, stealthily go alongside, and then see what they could do about surprising the people that might be watching so that they can be there ready to greet the Sea Ghost. And it all seemed to work pretty well. Brine came right up underneath two of the people who were looking out towards the sea, pulled both of them down into the water with her, and we will decide the implications of that in just a moment. But just as that happened, I don't remember if it was Waves, Morthwill, and Silvo, or if it was just one of the three. It was just one of the three of you noticed. I don't remember who it was. That noticed that there was a light that was shining from off the shore, and that was coming quite obviously from a ship. And it was coming from a ship. They were getting the same message over and over again, which was, he says, as he tries to find the note that says what it was. Yes, which was long, short flash. Long flash, short flash. They began to see this signal, and that was where we wrapped up for today. And so as we head back into circumstances right now, I'm going to hand things over to the party with the following proviso, which is there is currently one person still remaining on the dock who is sort of staring, shocked, as his two companions have just gone out into the water with Brine. And there is this ship that is flashing things out there. So what I'm going to ask everyone to do is I'm not going to put us into initiative until I know what it is the party is doing. So I want to know what the party is doing, and I'm going to start with Waves, Morthwill, and Silvo just to tell me how you're going to react to that flashing light. Or if you want to ignore it and just be like, we got to worry about Brine and the two people next to Brine. Then I will come to Brine and be like, okay, what do you want to do with these two fine people that are now floating in the water next to you? So I will start with Waves and Morthwill and Silvo. What do the three of you, having either seen or been told about this light, what do you want to do?
Waves didn't see the light and decided about Morthwill and Silver did. So Waves jumped into the water.
That's right.
Trying to get to the last person to stop him from giving the wrong signal. Because she knows that everybody had their own little text telling them what signals to give. There is the lamp that she placed on the ship because she has arranged everything really neatly before we set off. Mm-hmm. And so I'll just jump into the water, try to get to that last person there in the cave.
Okay, so I'm going to come to you in just a second, and let me ask Silvo and Morthwill, what are you doing based on this thing that you've just seen? This long, short thing.
I'm going to turn to Morthwill and say, well, we need it to come to shore, don't we?
What we can do about it out there?
Well, we're kind of close. Should we just signal it from here? We have a lamp. We know what the signals are.
I couldn't hurt to try.
Okay, I'll pick the lamp up. Presumably the lamp is lit. And I will kind of use my hand to cover the lamp. Actually, no, I have the actual proper bullseye lantern from thingies, don't I?
Yeah, and I also have a hooded lantern that I put there.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, and I assume one of those was lit, yes.
Yes. I will go short, long,
Okay. So you do short, long, and there is a long and uncomfortable pause, and then you see from the ship, long.
Okay, Silvo's checking his note. I think that means that they're also safe and we should go to the ship. I'm saying that to Morthwill.
Yeah.
Morthwill didn't actually have I don't think he saw the sheet at any point himself.
Oh.
I gave everyone a sheet.
Everyone a sheet.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
okay.
It was distributed to everybody, I think. But
if you have a quick look in the Zoom chat, so that's basically the notes that Silvo found in Sambalet's office, and Waves made copies of that for everyone.
Okay. Hey, well, we want to go over to the ship, but I don't think just the two of us want to be going over.
No, I reckon we go there, get rid of those two guards, and then we can move over.
Well, how far from the remaining guard are we at the moment?
So, you, I think, dropped anchor, well, not dropped anchor, but stopped far enough outside that you would not be immediately visible. So you probably are like 100, 150 feet because Brine basically wanted you to stop far enough away that she could, dive underwater and stealth it up the rest of the way, which means also, Waves, that you're gonna have to move fast. I have this image of the Kenku, like, zzz, like the wings just like going over the water as she like hovercrafts across. But anyway, yeah.
I played
So
Banjo-Kazooie. I know how useful wings are underwater.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But no, probably about 150 feet, I would say. Now, the good news for you is that clearly the person who's left on the shore is staring right at the commotion happening in front of them, you know, as Brian has got these two people splashing around in the water. So isn't paying no attention to you at the moment, for what that's worth.
You need to get closer before I can be any help grabbing the oars as I say that.
Okay.
Yeah. If I can help row, I'll help row, but otherwise I'm pretty useless at this point.
Okay.
Keep an eye on the ship while we get closer. See if they send out any more signals.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
So, as Silvo and Morthwill set to the oars with a will, let's talk to Waves, who does not want to crash against rocks, but wants to crash against the dock, really, in this case. And what I'm going to ask you to do here is now, you need to think a little bit about this jumping in the water business. Now, I'm curious about what armor/weaponry you kept with you here, Waves, when you did all of this.
I only wear studded leather armor, I think.
Okay. You brought your sword.
So, and I brought the rapier. And everything else is in my backpack that I stored very neatly on board of the boat.
Yes, no, I know. And you stored multiple times neatly, as we discussed.
Yes, I stored multiple times. Everything is stored so well, you have no idea.
I like the idea that Morthwill dislodges that a bit in everyone's haste to get moving. So, like, you know, you get back, like, what have you been doing? Like, you're just rowing. No.
Yeah.
So, what I'm going to ask you to do here is, so your top walk speed would be 30. I think your swim speed would probably be half that. If you're really frantically moving at top speed, I might give you 20. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grant you what we like to call in other systems a devil's bargain, Waves. Here's what I will let you do. So you've got 100 feet, 150 feet. So technically, if you moved at 15 feet, it would take you 10 rounds. So it'd take you a little while to get there. 10 rounds would basically be a minute, right, to get there. Now, that's what I would do normally. However, I am willing to entertain the idea that you are so filled with righteous furor and desire to help your friend Brian that you will speed this process up so that you can get there in half the time. If you are willing to accept a level of exhaustion at the end of that experience. So when you get out of the water at the dock or you arrive at the dock, having gone that accelerated speed, you take a level of exhaustion.
What does a level of exhaustion do to me?
I am glad that you asked. A level of exhaustion, which is underused in Dungeons & Dragons, but no longer. A level of exhaustion gives you disadvantage on ability checks, but does not in combat or anything like that. It's just disadvantage on ability checks, not saving throws or anything like that. But it does
For how
mean,
long?
Until you get a long rest. Or certain healing processes can do that too. There are certain heals that can do that also.
Ooh, until a long rest is not good.
Am I right in thinking
Because we
that
never get a long rest. We know this. And I also might need to sail a ship tonight. Okay, no, in this case I'll go normal speed. But if the others in the damn boat overtake me, I want to get on board again.
This image of you, and then the boat's like as you're just like, oh man, that would be precious if that actually happened. Okay, long rests are a big
They are
myth.
rowing. That might actually be faster, but no, in this case I'll just pedal as fast as I can without completely exhausting myself. So.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Let me come then to Brian. So Brian, you have got two people currently down in the water now. The way that this works is you have a couple things you have to consider, and this is going to have to be on you, Brian, because your friends are a little bit distant from you at the moment. You have the two next to you who are completely flummoxed and have no idea what just happened. And then you have the guy up on the dock who also kind of doesn't really know what's going on. But you don't have a lot of time to react before they collectively pull themselves together. So do you want to deal with the guy on the shore? Do you theoretically, I guess he could run and warn somebody or could shoot you or whatever, and the two people in the water, what do you want to do with them? So I will give you an opportunity to do something, and again, I haven't asked for initiative rolls yet. It depends on what happens. So what would you like to do?
Okay, how choppy is the water at the moment? As in, how difficult would it be for someone who can't breathe underwater to swim in it?
At the moment, the water around you is extraordinarily choppy because you have a bunch of frantic, people who 3 seconds ago cannonballed into the water and now are like, like this. So it's very choppy in the local vicinity. Overall, I would say it's not that choppy overall in the ocean at the moment, but it's very choppy where you are.
Okay. At the end of the last session, what I did was I cast shape water to freeze the rocks underneath their feet, and then pulled 2 of them in the water. What I'd like to do is I want to just reach up and pull the 3rd one in the water.
Okay. There is a risk in doing that you may. It's not an attack of opportunity, but the 2 flailing people could try to grab onto you or do something like that. I'm just letting you know that might happen, or you still may want to take that risk.
If I'm grappled and we go underwater, that's not necessarily a bad thing for me.
Okay. Then, all right. Then what I will ask you to do, so you're basically not going to pay too much attention to the 2 people next to you at the moment. You're going to.
I'm keeping an eye on them in case they get too close and a bit handsy, but I want to get the person on the dock in the water.
In the water. Okay. So, this is going to be
I'm quite fast in the water as well because I've got like a swim speed of 30. So I need to kind of anyway.
Right. So that makes sense to me. You are quite fast. The only issue here is that the person is not going to be surprised by this action now because he's staring directly at the water as you're doing this. So you can still do it. It'll be a little bit harder. So what I will ask you to do is I will ask you to make...
But he is standing on ice as well.
He is standing on ice, yes. I will have you make... as I recall, I think I had you do that check possibly at advantage because the other 2 were standing on ice. So I'm going to have you do an athletics or an acrobatics check. I'll take either one if you have them. If not, we'll say dexterity. And I'm going to make it an opposed roll. This is not going to be at advantage. It will just be a straight roll. Although I would remind chat that if anyone has an inspiration from my channel, you could throw an inspiration towards Brian if you really want the 3rd person to go into the water. And anyone who's ever been in a carnival and threw the ball at the person so they could get dunked in the water tank clearly wants something like this to happen, right? I mean, I'm just letting you all know. But anyway, so if chat wants to do that, they can. If not, seeing none...
I'm going athletics all the way.
Okay.
It's strength and I've got proficiency.
All right,
so
let's make it athletics then.
Crossed.
And
19.
19 is very good, especially when they roll a 2. So apparently it's one of those things where like it happens, right? And then he's looking down and he's just like, this can't be happening. And that's basically what happens here. As the agile and strong water genasi pulls this guy on top of them. And you now have 3 that are around you. Now, the 3 are going to attempt to grapple you in some capacity, Brian, because they're all on top of you now. Like the 2 basically are flailing about, but you literally pulled them pretty much right on top of you. So I'm going to ask you to make a dexterity saving throw. They're going to try to not dexterity, strength, I'm sorry. Saving throw while he tries to grab onto you.
Okay. 21.
Yeah, you're just like, get the hell away from me. You just, like dismiss this person with a casual wave of your hand. And they are now, sputtering. And you can hear from the ship, Silvo and Morthwill, one of them's like, they're like shouting and trying to be heard. It's a lot of spluttering at the moment. You don't know how loud it is within the cave that leads to the house. You can't tell that yet, but they are definitely spluttering. Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, they've tried to grapple me, but not managed to. I mean, I know it's a bit cold, but could I, when I like, am free of their grapple, can I swim down with them?
You'd like to bring them to the bottom?
A little bit.
Consults alignment. No. No, I mean,
if they were on the surface, we'd be shooting them with arrows.
I know. I'm joking. I'm okay with that. I mean, it's up to you. It's really what you want to do. what your conscience will allow you to do. It's fine. You are the bloodthirsty, so that's that. Yeah, you can try to do that if you wish. So then I would ask you to grapple them. Then I'm going to come back to Waves and then to Silvo and Morthwill. So you could grapple them if you wish. Now you got 3 of them. So I don't think even a water genasi can take 3 at the same time. That strikes me as a little much. So
It's
2. I would let you try to take 2.
Whatever it allows. Obviously, I all I need to do is get them underneath the surface of the water. So.
Okay. All right. Then let me have you grapple them. I'm going to have you grapple each one separately then. And we'll see what they roll. So, sorry, and it's a strength check for a grapple that I will need you to make. Not a save, but a check.
Just a straight strength check.
That's right. Yeah. This one is not athletic. Let me think. Do I want to give you athletics on that? Yeah, I'll give you athletics on that. Yes. So athletics is fine.
I got a nat 20.
Okay. Well, that's 1. Now do the same thing for the other ones. You got 1 grapple just around the neck.
No, you grab the other one by the ankle.
What about my young children? Oh, he doesn't say that.
Another athletics check.
Yes. This is for the second one.
Another nat 20.
Jeez. Wow. All right. With 2 nat 20s, the brine is just like crushes and goes straight down to the bottom. And Silvo, Morthwill, you just are like rowing in, and then you're just like, you see these 2 like faces disappear along with brine, and you're kind of like, I don't know if you have a reaction, but it just vanishes like the 2 of them. Like,
We might need a bigger boat.
Is she? Oh.
It's
that's
a grim
dark.
fate.
oh,
It's a healthy swim. It's a healthy swim for
it's
me.
a healthy
Anyway.
swim.
But
Meanwhile, so you're going to take him to the bottom. Now, are you basically just keeping him under until, you know?
I'm yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're going to keep them under. Do we have to bring their bones to the temple? Meanwhile, the paladin is going at full speed. Just bzzz. Brian, you actually heard through the water this strange buzzing sound as if something is rotating extremely quickly. You don't know what exactly that is, but you catch a flash of color, perhaps, but you don't really know what that is. But in any case, Waves, you're heading directly for the dock, and suddenly you see that there are the guys pulled in the water, and you look up for a moment, and you can see that the person who was on the dock is now just by himself flailing in the water and looking very frantic. Like, ah, ah, like, you know, yelling and sputtering and shouting and trying to make his way back to shore.
Okay. On that direction, we need to stop him because he might have a lamp somewhere. You never know.
Okay. So I'm going to say that he is so thrown off by what has happened that it's going to take him twice as long to move as it will take you to move, which means if all goes well, you might reach him just as he gets to the dock, leaving aside Brine, because if Brine comes back up after doing the deed, you know, we'll see if Brine has Seva, but just as far as you're concerned.
Also,
yeah.
I don't have a good alignment this time. Let her do her thing.
Meanwhile, Silvo and I just love the visual that like Brian's got both of them down. Waves, this Kenku is frantically paddling, and Silvo and Morthwill are rowing frantically for the shore, for the dock, just trying to, you know. You'll be happy to know that the boat is not quite going to catch up to you, Waves. Brian, it'll be close, but I think you will beat them to the shore. Brian, by the time you get down to, you know, the bottom, the 2 bodies you are carrying have gone limp. And it's all very abyss, if you know what I'm saying.
Can I go back for the last one before the others get here?
You can try to. You may not get up there. Well, yeah, you can try to get back up if you wish. So if you just sort of leave them there as they kind of float to the briny deep, and then you zip up. As you're doing that, Waves, you arrive at the dock literally at the same time as the person is kind of like pulling himself up onto the dock. Brian, you're not quite there. It'll probably take you another few seconds to get there, and he's pulling himself up. So, Waves, what do you want to do? You're arriving at the same time. He is not paying any attention to you at the moment because he's pulling himself up onto the dock. So this is you, Waves. What do you want to do? Because you caught up to him.
Oh, sorry, I was still looking at the drowning a puppy thing in chat. Sorry. I caught up to him. I would try to knock him unconscious, I guess. That seems like... Well, if he's trying to get out of the water, I'll try to pull him in again because he can't reach the lamp. But
Okay.
otherwise, I'll try to knock him out now.
Let me have... So you want to pull him in first and then try to knock him out?
He's already out.
He's like halfway out. He's literally pulling himself
Okay, then
up
I need to pull him in and just... I don't know. Then I'll just pull him in, and if I can put him underwater directly, I'll do that.
Grapple effect. Let's do it. Make a strength
Grapple.
check.
Grapple.
Also, good to see you,
Yes.
some coalition, everybody. You make a strength check.
I
he
love
will
the
make a
grapple
strength
rules.
check.
Grapple rules are so underused. Let's do... Oh, I'm not... Oh, I'm a dexterity build. I forgot about that. Okay.
Never mind. I hate the grapple rules. They're terrible, and they should not
Yes,
exist.
the grapple... I just don't like them at all. But still, strength check, you say, yes?
Mhm.
Okay, here we go. 15.
That is enough. I actually was waiting for you to hit another natural 20, and I was going to be like, wait a minute.
That's
All
not me, I'm
right.
not a water
Who's been
genasi.
hacking? Roll 20. No. So you pull... Yeah, so he is halfway up. You pull down on his leg, and it's whoop, whoop, and sort of bangs into the dock and then kind of falls backwards. And so he's now there. He is very much like he is fighting you with the frantic nature of someone who sees his potential end. So he's in front of you. So you want to try to knock him out, you said?
Yes, if I can. I mean, if he's distracted by surviving, I might just be able to knock him out. So I'll just like...
I will have you make an attack roll for me, please. So just a straight attack. I assume you're using like maybe the hilt of your rapier or something.
Yes, because I don't really think I can poke him in the water, because then I would have to like... I can't really imagine doing that. That's why I thought about this. A straight attack roll. I don't have that anywhere.
You can so basically just attack with strength bonus should be enough, because that's you're in the water. Can't be really a dex
So
bonus on that. Well,
so just...
let me think about that. If I want to give you the dex bonus, no strength, because you've also got to be. You don't usually fight in the water. This is not your usual method of fighting.
Just another strength check then.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope.
So you like, "Ugh," and he sort of slams you in the face to try to get away from you. You're going to take a couple of points of damage here, Waves, as he kicks away from you and now climbs back, frantically trying to clamber up onto the dock. At which point Brian arrives. Silvo and Morthwell are not far behind in the boat, but at this point Brian arrives, and like Brian, you surface, and you're maybe, I don't know if you're surprised or not to see a very wet and annoyed Kenku that is clearly your friend, who is there trying to deal with this third guy who's pulling himself up onto the dock.
As I literally break the surface, I'm going to turn, because obviously I can see that the Kanku's legs and stuff are under the water, so I know they're there.
Yep.
As I break the surface of the water, I want to wink at Waves and grab the third guy's leg and just disappear back with him underwater.
Let's have you make that grapple check, please.
Athletics still.
This would be athletics, yes.
22.
Wow. And you needed it because he actually crit his, but that's not enough with the 22. So he's just like grabbing on, and you're like, get back here. I don't know if anyone's seen the brilliant Sherlock Holmes movie with Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. Leave aside the fake British accents. I understand. I'm sure it wasn't great, but the movie itself I think is so stylish. Anyway, there's that sequence at the end where Lord Blackwood is trying to hold on, and he has that weight around his foot, and he keeps getting dragged backwards. That's what this is like. He's trying to pull up on the dock, and Brian, you're like, no, get down here. And finally, you kind of rip him off, and he hits the ground with a smack, and now he's just kind of like floating there. Sort of, he might be half unconscious already. He's kind of weakly kind of pawing at you, Brian.
I didn't pause. Like when I brought him off the side, I'm taking him straight down.
Just straight down. Okay. So Waves, you just see, and he just vanishes completely with Brian. And Silvo and Morthwell now show up with the boat to see your friend Waves kind of bobbing up and down in the water, and there is no sign of Brian nor of any smugglers.
I'm just pointing around with my crossbow. I'm like, what happened?
sorry, I closed everything. That was not smart. So I just sorry. Okay, I'll just drag myself up on the dock and like try to get the water out of my feathers.
I just imagine you just shaking, and then all of a sudden you're just like,
yeah. And I look quite a bit less colorful than before.
"Are you okay?"
I look at you and I seem to be happy, and I say,
I turn to Mothwell. I'm gonna say that's a yes.
I think so.
I mean,
Okay.
she seems happy. So, where's Brian?
I look down at the water to see if Brian is coming up.
I don't see like any bits of the water that look obviously disturbed. There's just very still water. It's bobbing a bit.
Yeah, there was a lot of disruption, and then just kind of a bloop,
Yeah.
and then just
Not really seeing any blood.
No, I imagine when a water genasi hits the water, it's like the best Olympic dive you've ever seen.
Unless I fail a dex roll, in which case belly flop you've never seen. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get like down to the boss.
Oh, he went like minutes ago. Like, you're just doing this for fun now.
He wasn't dead.
Yeah, so when Brian reemerges, you do not see anybody else with Brian. Just Brian herself coming out of the water, and it's now just the four of you. Of course, the open cave is at your back, but you do not see any smugglers, just the distant sort of silhouette of the sea ghost right on the edge of the horizon.
Are there any crates or anything here in the cave?
There are some crates and barrels, even a crate and barrel, haha. There are some crates and barrels that are around there, yes, that look like they've been stacked.
Okay. I try to move one towards the boat.
Did we see people on these rocks, like myself and Mothwell? Or did we just hear a bit of commotion?
No, you saw them initially, because you had, yes, you did. You got close enough to see that there were 3 smugglers that were on the dock. And then Brian had said that she was going to jump underneath and do this sort of stealthy approach. So there was that.
I just look around. I'm still holding my crossbow, expecting to see either bodies or blood. And I'm just turned to Brian. I'm like, wow, stellar work. Big fan of your work.
We need to make sure that no one heard. Do you want to just like check the entrance of the cave?
Yeah. I was just still looking at the water. Like, I don't even know where they went. Like, there's
The sea's claimed them now.
As you say that, a moment later, like a back, like a tunic-covered back, just lifts up and is just on the water, but just bobbing up and down.
I aim my crossbow at it for a second. I'm like, I'm guessing he was with you.
Brian is like, looks to the others and went, oh, what? He was in our way. Like, it's like everyday occurrence. It's fine. Just check the cave. We just need to make sure that we need to make sure that no one heard.
We might want to get the fella there out of sight as well.
Okay. I like Brian reluctantly nods and dives back in the water and just goes and moves the bodies and like puts them under a rock or something so they're not going to float to the surface.
Okay.
You're just weighing them down now.
Memorial's turned away. He's reasonably disturbed by the whole sequence.
I was gonna say.
I nudge Mothwell a second and I crick my neck towards the back of the cave. I'm like, stone cold killers, the pair of them. Absolutely ruthless.
Wouldn't have thought it after the mansion, but yes, you're right.
Absolutely ruthless. I've never seen efficiency like it.
Well, killing ain't exactly my business, so yes.
Brian is climbing out of the water as they say this, and she's coming out going, What, you thought my name was ironic? And then like just like shaking out my clothes and wringing out my hair.
I don't know. You just seem so nice.
And then it's like,
Yeah.
after realizing that we don't want to load something onto the ship, I stop examining the boxes, but I make sure that no lamp is left there, so that nobody. That if there's a lamp in this cave, I want to drop it in the water or destroy it or something. Well, like drop it in the water. Let's get rid of them, so that nobody can signal the ship.
Morthiel does want to have a look in a couple of the barrels and crates to see.
Okay.
And he sort of explains, we might want to bring a couple with us. The boat did signal us to. Hang on, he checks his note again. Now it says safe to unload. Come to ship. So they may be unload. So they.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yes.
Yeah, so
okay. They would be expecting us to bring cargo to them then.
Yeah, I think if we take a couple, of barrels to them, then we're gonna look like we belong there.
Okay, just like for me as a non-native speaker, ready to unload. The ship says it's ready to unload. So why are we bringing them cargo?
Well, that's why I want to check what's in the barrels, because if they're supplies.
Okay.
And I've also just opened up the map so that the folks can see where you are. This is the cave, and there is the boat that you have there. And you can see.
It's okay. It can't hurt us. It can't hurt us anymore. It's okay.
Don't want to
Your
die.
cave. Remember your failure at the cave.
Just don't scroll slightly up. Okay.
The dock we have at home.
Okay, I just want to destroy all the lamps and then get back on board of our boat.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm going to turn to the others and say, I don't know that whoever's going to be arriving in this dock is going to be expecting a Kanku and a water genasi waiting for them. So maybe we should be somewhere out of sight.
I mean, that sounds like a good idea. I mean, Morthwell and I are probably the ones that can get away with being. I look at Morthwell and like, well, we can mostly get away with being bandits.
Well, I'm mostly known around town, and I ain't much for lying myself.
Well, you can hide as well if you want, or you can just stay quiet. I can line up for the both of us.
It's just appearances from a distance. It's absolutely fine. No lying necessary.
I go to the boat, take out my backpack, and put my cloak on and with the cowl up, and try to find all the lamps.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Nobody has a lamp but us.
Hood up, face mask on.
Okay.
Morthwell follows the cue there and just sort of wraps his face up with kind of like a scarf out of his clothing.
Okay.
I'm going to get into the water before the boat pulls into dock, but I just want to help with the others. Just check to make sure that there's no kind of easy way that we're going to be flanked from behind.
Also, to be clear, the ship does not seem to be coming to you. I mean, it's not moving.
The signal said come to ship.
Yeah, we need to come to ship. So we take our boat to ship, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
So does that change, Brian? So Brian, what would you do then if that changes?
I'm going to swim underneath our boat, but get ahead of it and get to the ship first.
Okay.
Maybe get alongside so I can listen to their conversations as our little rowboat approaches.
Okay. Sounds reasonable. Everyone else has done what they're doing now. Important to say that as you're sort of coming up to this area, you will have, as I just realized I had the wrong. I'm glad I looked at this first. I almost revealed the wrong thing. So I want to make sure I know what direction you're approaching the ship from, because, well, if you want to, we'll worry about that in a minute, but just be ready to think about that, because the ship is clearly not facing, bow on, right? It's broadside. That's the only way you'd be able to see the silhouette from the land. So the question is, you don't know yet if it's the port, which for non-ship people is the left side, or the starboard side of the ship that's facing it, but it's clearly one of the sides. So the question is whether you're trying to take the boat, directly, like just without trying to be stealthy about it, towards the starboard side, or if you're trying to sneak around, or any of those sorts of things.
If it was port side facing us, it would be headed back to the direction that we've come from, which is landlocked. Is that right?
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, if they were, because they could float around and go back. I mean, they could, turn around and go back up theoretically. It would just take them past Saltmarsh if they were going in that direction that you're talking about. But they could still be offshore. It wouldn't necessarily be landlocked.
So I guess the question is: do we want to approach the ship and pretend to be smugglers and try and get on board, or do we want to try and approach the ship stealthily and try and get on without being seen?
I think we've got to approach the ship as the smugglers, otherwise they're going to shoot us from the deck. I might be able to sneak aboard whilst everyone's distracted, maybe up a rope ladder or something on the side. But yeah, I think we definitely need to approach as smugglers.
I agree.
I do think maybe you sneaking in from another direction might be the best course of action.
I think you just staying
you probably
in the water.
could pass as a smuggler better than me, but then I can't breathe underwater, so...
I like it when you're in the water. Bad guys die.
Not if they're on a boat. I don't plan on sinking the boat.
But these guys were on land.
They were very, very close to the water.
Boats are very close to the water.
It was just a small slip. It's fine. It's fine. Don't you worry.
Stone cold. That's what you are. I love it.
Wave slaps you on the shoulder and says,
How you doing, you old pirate?
Oh, I love it. I give Waves a hearty back slap and a bit of a feather ruffle as well, and just say, "Oh, you say the kindest things." Yeah. I mean, how far is this boat from, or the ship? Sorry, from where we are?
Well, it's heading towards. It's just about nighttime now. So it can't be super far, or you wouldn't be able to see it all. The silhouette that you see is disappearing rapidly. So, but it's got to be many hundred feet off the shore. How much exactly? I don't know, 500-600 feet. But it'd take you a little bit of time to get to it, but it's close enough that you could get there, or you wouldn't be able to see it at all in this light.
So, theoretically, judging by how quickly the sun is setting, the boat could row towards it, and it would be too dusky to make out faces necessarily.
I would say that's true, yes.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
So we're thinking get in the boat, row towards the big boat, and you, Brian, go around the other side of the boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you board as maybe take... There were no boats around the dock, were there?
There were not. There may be some that are pulled up inside the cave, possibly. You're not sure. But that would require you, of course, to actually go and down and explore more of the cave.
yeah, how about that?
The
Which,
PTSD is too
let that
real.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was going to say.
My question is, the people that were here that went for a swim, how were they going to go towards this ship?
It's a good question. There's no boat at the on the dock that you can see.
And there's no boat coming towards us from the larger boat.
Not that you see at the moment.
They're expecting us, as far as we know.
They're expecting us, but there wasn't a boat here before, so how were they expecting the people that were here to...
I look at the sand in the cave. Are there dragging trails? that lead further inside that make me think there might have been a boat dragged along here?
Make an investigation check for me, please.
Ooh, would you like guidance on that?
So plus 1d4, right?
That's right, yes.
Because that's good, because investigation is on intelligence. And 1d4... 13.
There are tracks that indicate two straight lines that are basically leading more or less from the water's edge, actually, below the level of the dock. So you've got the dock, and then there's like the very edge of the rocky shore. And then in the more sort of sandy stone dirt area of the inside of the cave, before you enter the cave, there are tracks that lead into that and then disappear to the left out of sight from where you're currently standing.
Okay, I tuck Brian's sleeve and point towards the tracks, because she might also recognize what it is.
I'm going to nod, because I, as I say, the thought had occurred to me: how were they supposed to go out there? I'd like to just like sneakily peek around the corner.
Okay. Let me have you make a stealth check for me, please.
I can do that.
And and I assume that you mean by stealthily peek, we're talking about peeking like around here-ish, something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
If that's the direction the
That's where they go. Yeah, that's where the tracks
yeah.
go.
Well, what my reasoning is, my thinking is that if this ship is expecting the people on this dock to row out to them, they're not going to expect our little rowboat. And if there's not a rowboat on the dock, how were they expecting them to row out to them? So we don't want to like give our hand away before we can even get within spitting distance. Stealth, yes. Oh God, that's bad. 6.
Okay. So you come around to the side of it, and you peek in there, and you can see. Let's see. That. You can see what look like more crates and barrels and so on. And you also can hear, coming from right over here, a loud, "Ah, damn it all. They don't know what they're doing out there." And you hear this thunk, 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 as if someone is hammering away at wood. And not going to get this done anyway. Ah, the thunk, thunk, thunk. Someone is hammering away at something wooden from up in this area. But you can't quite see it unless you sneak around there. Now, you kind of made a fair bit of noise, Brian, getting up to that point. But because the noise of this person, and I actually should have let you know that you heard a little bit of this sound before, but also with the sound of the waves, it covers it over. The sort of the acoustics here are strange, but when you get around to this side, you can definitely hear someone kind of swearing to himself. And he's not shouting at the top of his lungs, but kind of swearing to himself, and something is being hit against wood from there. Otherwise, what you see here are what look like rolled up, maybe textiles, and there's barrels and things like that there.
Okay, I'm gonna just ease my way back to the others and say, look, I can't see the boat that they were going to use to row out, but there is someone over there doing some woodworking of some kind. I don't want to venture too far into these caves, otherwise we're on a slippery slope down towards Sambalat. Or we can try our luck with this rowboat. It's up to you.
I think we get out of here while the getting's good, personally.
I go towards the rowboat.
Absolutely. I've not left the rowboat. So just while Brian was walking towards that corner and kind of having a peek around, I got the paperweight, the crystal thing, out of my pocket,
okay.
And I'm staring into it because there's something about this situation that doesn't sit quite right with me. So I'm just staring into this, and I'm wondering if I'm going to see anything.
I'm going to have you make, please, an Arcana check for me.
Oh, good. The young man who knows nothing about magic. But who knows? That is a 12.
Yeah, as you look into it, you can see just the kind of sort of glow of some of the lanterns on shore. There's a couple of those, although I guess waves might be gathering those lanterns up now that I think of it. But these are actually not, these are not hooded lanterns, though, just so you know, Waves. These are like on stakes, so they look like they're just kind of regular to-cast light lanterns as opposed to signaling lanterns. They're just open and hanging there. You can still collect them if you want, but...
I didn't see any signaling lanterns.
No, do not see any signaling lanterns there. It is possible, and in fact,
Still
Brian
getting
might
rid
even
of them.
let you know, that there might have been a hooded lantern at the belt of one of these people that is currently weighed underneath rocks and down far below.
There was. I remember one of them did have a lantern
Yes.
on. I didn't retrieve it, but if Waves is actively looking for lanterns, I'll go. Oh goodness. Okay, yeah, I can go back and get it. It might be a bit damp.
No. I shake the head, and I plunge one of the other lanterns into the water so that Brian maybe understands what I'm doing.
Ah, yes.
Okay. And now I get into the boat.
Okay.
Boat.
All right.
Yep, Morthil sits at the oars.
Okay. So you are at the oars. The rest of you get into your particular spots. And then you head out towards the Sea Ghost. All right. As you head towards the Sea Ghost, it's getting, again, darker and darker. So pretty soon, all you have is just the sort of rocking of the waves and the boat kind of gently shifting back and forth as you row outwards. And you can see what is at first just darkness because of, now night has set in. But you can now begin to see it is a clear night. And as you can see, a couple of the stars are beginning to twinkle in the sky. You can see there is a little bit of that ambient light shining down again. And the Sea Ghost begins to come into view. The Sea Ghost, as you're looking at it, is a fairly nice-looking, actually, ship that is in pretty good condition from what you can tell. It is probably about 20 feet wide from side to side, and it is it's fairly long, probably about 100 feet, 90 to 100 feet from the prow to the stern. So not enormous, but a decent size and clearly intended to hold stuff. Like obviously it's got a fairly deep hull from what you can see. And as you get close to it, you can see that indeed the port side, the left-hand side, is the one that is facing you as you are heading towards it. You can see the mast of the ship. The sails are furled at the moment, but you can see the mast of the ship is on, as you look at it, the left of the port side, which means that's where the front of the boat is, which means that the left side of the boat, the port side, is facing you. So you have a decision to make. If you're going straight on, then they will certainly see you fairly soon, whoever's on the boat. If you try to go around to the other side, then that would change things, but that's if you went around to the starboard side. But otherwise, they will see you, assuming you're coming in this direction.
How dark is it?
It was pretty dark. There's a little bit of ambient light, so it's very, very dimly visible to you. Unless there's anyone with dark vision, in which case you probably could see, yeah. So Morthwell, actually, you can see this fairly clearly, I would say. The rest of you, it's very dim, barely in the ambient starlight.
Do we have any lit torches on the boat? Or lanterns? No?
Not unless
We
the
have-
bullseye
we have-
lantern's still lit.
It's a
don't think
hooded
so,
lantern,
no.
so we can douse it if we want to, but we could also put it on the bow of the boat to shine in the other direction, which would
Okay.
obscure us.
Silvo, apart from looking quite upset that he's at sea at the moment, and also on a rickety boat, he looks unsettled. So there's this kind of like, do we want to approach the boat like this? Do we want to like try and bluff our way onto the boat? Do we want to go around the back? I just see Waves shake her head. Morphle says nothing.
I nod when he said go and bluff on board because she doesn't
Yeah.
really intend to bluff. I just intend to run up the ladder or whatever they have. And but going around, I think, would be seen as really weird from people on the boat. So I shake my head upon
But
Silver
if they
saying
haven't,
that.
if they haven't seen us, if it's too dark and too misty for them to see us, they don't know where we are.
They're
They'll be
I'm saying-
expecting a buzz.
Yeah, they might be expecting a boat, but can they see a boat from where they are?
They may have someone who can see in the dark like we can.
That's very true. I don't know. There's something that doesn't sit right about this. It almost feels like a trap. It feels like we're going onto a boat full of the people who nearly killed us in that cave.
Well, we could go back into the cave with the people who nearly killed us in that cave.
It feels like the same situation.
Wave seems unconcerned, but tries to stay behind Silver to hide her beak a little bit.
What have I gotten myself into? Okay, Silvo he stays quiet as the boat slowly drifts towards the near side of the boat.
Okay, so the port side, so like the side that's closer to so basically the side where you'll be seen, but like
The dangerous side, yes.
the dangerous side. Okay.
The pointy side.
Well, then I'm going to bring all of you to a whole new world, a whole new map. So give me just a second whilst I prepare you for your doom. No, I'm just kidding. For the other side. Okay, right. And we're going to go up like that. There we go. All right. Let me bring you and the rest of chat over to this. So these are the things that you can see from here. Oops, sorry. From here. So this boat, as you get closer, you can see a couple things. First of all, it's definitely the one you want because the name of the vessel, Sea Ghost, is painted on the side of the prow. You can see that as you get closer to it.
Subtle.
It has a length of nearly 90 feet. It has a beam of 26 feet and then a draft of 8 feet, so it stands 9 feet above the waterline to the top of its main deck rails. And it has a long mast from which the sail is furled, and there's a crow's nest on top of it that you can see as well. And as you come close, you can see that there are two things that are immediately visible to you. The first is that there's this upper deck, basically here and here. And then you've got the main deck, which is the one that you're heading to, which is here. Actually, I should reveal a little more of this just to give you a little bit of room to maneuver. So, like that, there is the main deck down here, because that's the side you would theoretically be approaching. And you can see that there are two people that are standing there at the side of the main deck that are watching as you get closer. And you are now clearly visible to them. And as you're getting closer and closer in, one of them at one point holds up a hand. And this person from here seems to be a little bit thinner, and then the other one is a little bit taller. It looks like one of them might be a dwarf, possibly. But that's the other one. But this one looks like he might be human. He has got a bandana tied backwards on his head in the classic pirate way. And he is standing there, a loose, open white shirt. And he says, "Arr, who be you that's coming on to the Sea Ghost?"
Morthil nudges Silvo in the back.
I also nudge Silver.
Oh, all right, pack it in. Hello.
He says, "What do you mean, hello? I'm asking who are you and who are you coming onto the Sea Ghost? Identify yourself."
I'm Charles. This is Bimmy and Jimmy.
there's
We-
it's just
we-
it's just silence. Charles, Benny, and Jimmy, and they're kind of
Yeah. We joined recently.
And he says, can't you people keep any recruits on the land?
Hey, people got to eat, right? And you guys pay better than the fishmongers, so
Morthwell mimes with the oars, as in, why do you think I'm here?
And he kind of stares down at you. And now that you're closer, you can see that he, it's sort of a little hard to tell for the others, but you, Marthwill, can see with your dark vision. Who has dark vision besides
Me.
Marthwill? Okay, so Silva does too, but not Waves and not Brian, right? So Silva and Morthwill, you can both see that his face is dirty. And as he kind of looks down at you, he kind of somewhere between a grin and a grimace, and you can see that he has a line of several broken teeth and one shining, possibly gold tooth. And he says, I see they've decided to give you the tough end of the stick, eh? All right, then. I saw the signal already. You come up on side, and you make sure you move awfully slowly now. And wait a minute. And he sort of sees that you're in the boat, and he's like, where's all the goods? And it occurs to you that don't have barrels or things on the boat. I mean, you have you on the boat. And there's lanterns.
I said we should have put barrels on the boat.
What? What'd you say?
Look,
You said shake to unload, come to ship.
I turn back to Morthwill. I'm like, I said to have put the barrels on the boat. Do you not listen to a thing that I say? Listen, I may only outrank you by a couple of weeks, but you gotta listen to me. Sandmiller himself hired me for this job, and I've got to put up with you, and I point to Morthwell, and you, and I point to Waves, when these guys have more sway than any of those landlubbers over there in that cave. And I turn to the pirate on the ship. I'm like, look, I am really sorry. We can go back. We can get the goods. Is there anything we can take back with us to save this one? And I point back over to Morthwill from having to make yet another mistake. I mean, you trust people so far, but this is where it gets you.
I don't know any of that. And I need you to make a deception check for me, please, Silvo.
Oh, okay. Would Morthwill like to poke me with a guidance finger?
I will just need to check the specifics of guidance.
Okay.
Because it does have a verbal component.
This is where I'm getting this
Well,
line from
blow
the
the
Blues
cover a
Brothers
little
where he's
bit.
like, normally I like to be in my car and write a check on the dashboard before we give it to you. Is this like...
If there's a verbal component, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Well, I'll do the roll, and then we'll see.
Well, the verbal component could be dang.
I might need the roll.
I will just sort
rolled-
of
I
poke
rolled
you in the
badly.
back and go, you're lucky I'm keeping quiet.
I don't think I've actually said it yet, but Brian is actually swimming under the boat to the other
I was
side.
just about to ask you. Okay.
Okay, so that's 13.
Okay. So, they say, you're some odd ones, you are. Let's get you up here on the deck and we can talk to you proper. Pull the boat alongside. Don't make any sudden movements. All right, you get him up there. And he says to the other one, "Brr," and he starts kind of pulling things over as if he's going to help you come down. And he lowers a couple of ropes that are clearly designed to, like, with hooks in them that are clearly designed to, like, hold the boat alongside. You can now see, by the way, even as you were coming up, that there's a jolly boat, basically kind of like a boat that you're in, which is on top here, but it's, like, lashed upside down to the deck of this place. I'm going to ask everybody to bring your characters, if you can do it. I don't know if you're able to do it or if I have to bring it on for you. Here, and then I'm going to have Brian, I'm going to bring you over to the other side in just a moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure what my character token is.
Okay, let me see if I can do it. Okay, here we go. Zip. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. I want your, never mind. I want your token. Okay, I'll pull them over.
That's my wonderfully stylish character art.
Yes, it is. Let me just copy. Make it easier that way. Okay, copy and paste.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Okay, there we go.
Hey.
And I'm going to move Brian over to this side, although, Brian, you're going to direct me when you have that all figured out. Okay. So, there we go. All right. And actually, Brian, as you're going underneath... No, I'm not going to make you make a stealth check yet. We'll see what happens when you get to the other side. We'll talk to you in just a second. So, for Silvo and for Morthwill and for Waves, the hooks are now... You can put them into the side of the boat if you wish. And then there is another rope which is dropped down, which is presumably a big one with knots in it, which is presumably meant for you to climb up.
All right,
If
cool.
none of the others want to go first, I go first.
I don't mind going first.
Well then, good luck.
I will go first. I will climb the rope first.
Mortha will make sure that the rowboat is secured before heading up last.
Okay. So then we're talking Silvo and then Waves and then Morthwill, if I understood that correctly.
Yes.
Okay. So...
And I'm moving very slowly, like slowly enough that I'm obviously listening to what they said. I'm not moving quickly.
Okay. You do that, and then Waves is up next, and the bandit sort of steps back. This other crewman steps back. And then, in the meantime, Brian, you are here on the other side, and so, again, this is kind of like a two-part thing. You've got, right here is the upper deck, right, where you'd have to climb up higher. And I'll show you like that and like that. You could go to either side for that matter. Or you could try to climb up the kind of the main deck. Excuse me, the main deck, and that's got this thing over here. Either one of those would be possible. It is in the hull of the ship you can see has a lot of handholds for climbing, like basically barred windows and things like that. But it does look like there's a lot of water spray on it, probably pretty slippery, if you had to guess.
I am going to, and some of the tokens are similar. So there are 4 at the back, at the bow, 1 at the front at the helm, and there's 2 in the center deck.
That's true, although this one actually I should have placed. Technically, you shouldn't be able to see them. I think you probably can. This one's actually up in the crow's nest. So, I mean, he's not in the water, okay? You'll just have to take my word for it that he's there in the crow's nest.
Okay.
So really, at the moment, we're just looking at these 4, and they seem to be paying very little attention to anything else at the moment. They are just... they're kind of concentrating on their own thing. They're paying no attention. They seem to be all fairly relaxed, so it certainly does not seem like anyone is on edge that you've arrived.
Okay, in which case, is there, in this section here, just in front of the equivalent of the steering wheel, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is there somewhere potentially where I could like hide up and hop down and kind of hide behind? From my knowledge of ships in general.
Do you mean like on the deck? Is there something like that you could do?
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you that this right here, this massive shape, is what must be the ship's capstan. So from it, the anchor chain runs down the chain vent to the port of the prow. So this thing is pretty big, and you could try to hide behind it, although, you still need to get on board the ship. And technically, they could. I mean, these ones are sort of like looking off sometimes, and sometimes they're looking in that direction. Like they're not, they're sort of chatting occasionally with each other. So they're not paying a lot of attention, but they're not avoiding looking. So they might see you as you came up into that area.
Can I hear anything?
Sure, make a perception check.
No, not a dicky bird.
The ocean.
You hear water.
Yeah, a lot of waves.
Okay, I'm going to very sneakily climb up the bow of the ship, and I want to try and get to kind of around here,
Okay.
where I'm not someone looking out of the crow's nest. If the crow's nest starts there, they're not going to probably look literally directly
down. Yeah. Are you climbing
So-
the anchor chain to get up there? Because that's what it looks like from there. Or are you climbing
Yeah,
up on
I
this side
think
or on
so.
this side?
Well, it's yeah, somewhere that's not in kind of line of sight, but easier to climb. So yeah, the anchor chain probably is a good place.
Let me have you then. Why don't you move your token just over there if you don't mind for me? And I'm going to have you make, let us see. I'm going to have you make an athletics check, but it's a pretty easy one because the chain makes it a lot easier than if you were just trying to climb up on the hull.
16.
Yeah, that's no problem. You're able to pull yourself all the way up to the side of the boat here, and now you're able to look over. Now, at this point, if you're going to sort of like lightly jump out and then try to go to the capstan, I'm going to ask you to make a stealth check to do that if you're going to do that.
I am going to attempt to do that.
Okay.
17.
Yeah. So you move over and very carefully and slowly make your way here where you're able to duck behind the capstan. And you can now see your friends. By this time, I would say that Waves has probably come aboard also. So I'm just placing you on there. And you don't see Morthwill yet, but you assume he's on the way. And so you're able to look down from your vantage point. So I'm just going to put you over there for just a second. You can look down from your vantage point and see them down here. And this is basically you. I just can't reveal that because there's obviously like rooms below that or whatever, but that's where you are. Okay, so you're watching down there. And as you're watching, you can also see... Go ahead.
Sorry, as I'm getting onto the boat, I'm making eye contact with this person and this person to my left and right. But do I also see this person who appears to be standing at a railing?
Right, so what I was just about to say was you do, but that person, like literally as you were watching, goes down the stairs after saying something to one of them, and then disappears inside here. So opens the door and then closes it. And at the same time that is happening...
so did they pass closer to me?
I guess, well, I mean, I guess within like 30, what would that be, 5 feet? About 20 feet maybe, but they weren't paying much attention to you. They just sort of went down as if everything is normal.
And what did they look like?
I will tell you that in just a moment,
Okay.
because right behind them is the other person. So that first one looked very much like a... They do not look like sort of a standard pirate. The other ones here, as I said, you've got the bandana, and you see them all with like swords, curved swords, and all that. So you can see a lot of that. But then there is also this other one who came down and just disappeared, and they looked a little bit different, actually. This one had a scar and bright red hair, but did not have they have a dagger at their belt, but they did not have a sword. And as they went down, you could see they didn't even glance in your direction, but definitely did not look quite like the normal pirate necessarily would. Seemed a little unusual, but not entirely. I mean, it wasn't like they weren't like super clean and everyone else is dirty, but outfit isn't quite the same. You certainly did not recognize them specifically, though. And then this one comes down. Now, this one actually has got this impressive-looking hat. And pirate-style hat, and comes down and he says, all right, Bjorn, make sure you make the delivery fast. I don't like the wind tonight. It feels wrong. Hurry it up, all of yous. And then he opens the door and comes in here and disappears. So that just leaves these two who kind of come over to the railing and are looking down. And the person that he said, this person says, all right, you heard the captain. And at this point, Morthwill, you have climbed onto the deck as well. So you can now see you've got this guy with the bandana, and then you've got two crewmen, it looks like, at the railing up here.
Which one did he refer to as the captain?
The second one who came down the stairs. And you would have seen that too from your vantage point also, Brian. The second one with the impressive hat. And so when you come up, he says, all right. This is this one who says this, the one that was referred to as Bjorn. All right, then. It's about time you explain yourselves. Where exactly is the shipment? How are we going to get what we need? And tell me what's taken so long. Sanballat should have had this stuff to us before now. I know you're just recruits, but that ain't an excuse. What do you know?
I know, I'm sorry. I'll kind of put myself forward a little bit. I think we might have read the signaling note wrong. We were told to go to dock and sort out the shipment. I'm going to guess we were meant to bring the shipment to you, not the other way around. I'm sorry. I just do what Sambalet says without too much fuss, and you know what he's like when you ask too many questions.
He says, that be that as it may, and then he kind of like peers, and you can see that his eye, he has two normal regular eyes, but he kind of squints at you. His face is very much sunburned and pockmarked, as befits someone who has spent most of his time on the water. And he looks at you and he says, I don't recognize you. And then he sees you waves and he's like, I don't remember Sanballat ever bringing any Kenku on board. And as for you, and he sees you, Morthwill, as you kind of hop on, he says, I don't recognize any of you. How new are you?
Morthwill just goes, holds up 4 fingers.
When he moves, when he turns around to look at Morthwill, I want to shove him overboard, please.
Okay. All right.
So it begins.
When he turns around to look at Morthwill,
We had to take the initiative at some point. They were not going to leave the ship.
It had
willingly.
to happen.
Okay, let me have you make. Let's see.
I want to can I do make him stumble over my bird leg or something?
Well, I was gonna have you do a shove, which I assumed is what you were looking for.
Yeah, but how I mean, make him. It's easier to have to shove people if you put a foot before their ankle or stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't. Yes, I do understand, but I don't know how you're gonna do that at the same time that you're standing behind.
Okay.
You could
so-
sink
You don't?
me.
You've been a nice boy at school.
What if someone was stumbled backwards into someone dwarven-sized?
Well, I think this is something that I'm going to have to let Waves decide on her own, because you can't plan the discussion when you're actually up there doing it.
Yeah,
So I'm going to have you make an athletics check if you have it, otherwise strength.
How about acrobatics?
Unless you're
No,
going to flip
no.
over the person while pushing, I'm
Nah,
going to ask you
that
to
would
do
be
an athletics.
Yeah, okay.
Or
I'm
this
going to
guy.
do athletics then.
Okay.
Wish me luck. I hope he falls. 21.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to see. He's going to try to oppose that. 21. Ooh, I've got to consult my statistics for this because this is going to be close.
Waves really wants the ship.
Yes. Yes. Come on, having our own ship, have the freedom to sail everywhere where we want. This is awesome. Also, they're just using the ship for bad things. We can use it for good things.
Okay, give me
Can you
just
sail
one
a ship
second.
with only 4 people? Like a big ship?
Yes, absolutely, definitely. There is no doubt.
You've got a sailor and a pirate in the crew.
We very surely didn't need this guy.
Yeah.
I've played
no,
Sea of Thieves. You can do it with one person.
See?
Oh my god, myself into.
Okay. So let's get down to this one. Sorry, I'm just finding the creature is not visible the way they're supposed to be. So just bear with me.
Yeah, we're not the good guys here, as no way. We're the neutral guys.
Excuse you.
Are we the baddies? Are we the baddies here?
Now I know how everybody else in the last campaign felt with Celsic.
Now you know how I felt for the last campaign. Being lawful good, it was really, really exhausting.
Okay. This is not giving me the information I'm supposed to have. All right, I beg your pardon. The information they're supposed to have here is not here. I shall find it
just
separately.
falls.
He falls and drowns.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
end.
It's enough.
Falls and hits
That's
his
all
head
there
on a
is.
rock.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Right, that so yours. Okay, so yours was a 21. Yeah, that's enough.
Yes.
So you push him directly towards. You push him this way, and let's see. That means you're going to either knock him prone or push him 5 feet away, which means you would push him directly over the side. So
Yes,
he's just
that's
so
where
there's
you
a
should go.
shocked like, "Hup!" and then like fall, and then you hear a, "Hup!" and then hitting the water
Wonderful.
below, and then
Okay.
this one steps back and says, "Oh, we got borders!" And I'm going to ask everyone here to make initiative rolls, please.
Yay!
Let-
Yay!
It's
Yay.
time for
Calm.
some music.
I forgot to
Combat.
click my. I forgot to click my thing.
Combat, and
Oh,
I'm
it
within
works, it
stabbing
works.
distance.
And me.
I rolled really badly then.
Okay.
You're just waiting for the opportune moment.
You're just caught
I'm
in the
glad I
anchor chain.
critted when I did. I would rather crit then, to be fair, than
Yeah. Man, that was amazing.
I'm
Those
really
two
glad I've
crits
given
in a row.
Brian a +1 magic weapon at this point.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
me
right.
too.
All right. So I'm gonna go with.
I'm also really glad my shield gives +1 armor class.
Yes, I'm happy that I don't have to swim, so I have my equipment now.
It's probably a
Get
good
this
thing I don't
boat!
have my cannons yet, because we may end up burning down the ship if we had.
I mean, that is a suggestion. Do you know what I mean?
Don't burn down my
I
ship.
can summon
Just-
a flamethrower at level 3. Just
we could
saying.
we could just scuttle the ship.
Don't burn down my ship, please.
Technically not your ship yet.
Yet being the operative
Technically.
word.
Not yet. Not as such.
I can also now pull my cowl down again.
Ah, yes, dramatic reveal.
Ta-da!
Well, that guy at least knew what a Kenku was.
Okay, let's see. We got that. And then there we go. Okay. All right, that's a good
Music
point. Actually,
really
Echo.
makes me want to play more piratey games.
right. I mean, okay. So we've got that.
Still hasn't gotten better than Sid Meier's Pirates for me, but there's some good ones.
We should rename the ship. What do we want to rename the ship?
Shouldn't you first actually achieve it before naming it?
Based,
No,
based
I
on our
want to-
current objectives, how about the chaos and calamity?
I know that we don't have the ship, but I
The
want to
Reckless
think
Kenku.
I want to think positively. I really want to think positively here.
When push
Because
comes
I
to
was-
shove.
For weeks, I've been looking forward to the ship, and I really want the ship now. And I want to think positively that we're going to get a ship now. Yes.
Okay,
Actually, the Reckless Kenku sounds more like a tavern, I think.
it does a little bit, yeah. I like it.
When we're going to get maybe we're going to get a tavern later. Who
Kenku could be
knows?
the galley.
Okay, let's see. So we've got now. So we have, if I'm not mistaken, we have Silva and Wave. Silva, what's your raw dexterity score for me, please?
My roll is 15.
15, and Waves, what's yours?
My raw dexterity score 20.
So yes, you will be going first. Before, at least that is to say, you will be going before Silva will. Okay. Got that. Okay. Then we have Morthwell with a 9. And we have Brine watching safely from her stealthy position, being like, I will wait to see how this all unfolds. Apparently, will be up, see what happens next.
Well, that's cool. Don't know if this has always been a thing in Roll20, but if you mouse over the turn order, it actually puts a little yellow box around the person on the map.
Yeah. It is pretty cool.
Never noticed that before.
Okay,
That's cool.
first up to act, and there be this may be, it wouldn't be a D&D campaign with my players if it didn't involve doing multi-level stuff. So we will probably be switching back and forth. There will be other people coming in. It'll be a good time. So we begin though with Waves. Waves, you are first to act. You see that you can hear the splashing of the sound of this person below you in the water, and you can also see in front of you a very troubled bandit who draws forth a scimitar and
Oh, cool.
looks menacing.
Yes. Yes, I don't look menacing, and I do realize that. So I will just step him.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna move in a position where I can reach him,
was
and
gonna
then
say.
I'm gonna step him.
Also,
I'm sorry, I don't want to step through Silver.
Yes, that would be not a good thing. I
Yes.
should describe very quickly, by the way, just so that folks know, that as things stand, there's a jolly boat that I mentioned that's lashed to the deck with ropes. After the mast, so behind it, you can see there's a hatch to the below decks area, and then there is a rope ladder that climbs to the crow's nest above. There are these two bandits on the railing. We already talked about that. And then there are vague outlines of doors that you can see here and here. And there are ladders which go up to the upper deck both here and here. And you already know that because you saw, the people come down those same things before. So I'm just letting you know a little bit about the way that whole thing looks. So you move basically over that little hatch. Now, be aware that you're standing on top of kind of a crisscross. There are holes in between the. It's not just solid that you're standing on right there, Waves. So I just want you to be aware of that because you're standing on top of that hatch that leads below.
Okay,
Probably
I have
okay
bird's feet.
here,
I'll
but-
just gonna latch on.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. You're with the claws, just like. Okay. Got it. All right. Go ahead and make your attack.
I really hope this will work. I'm gonna click on my rapier. Let's see. Look, yeah, 14. And if that hits, I would do 6 damage apparently.
A 14.
Look at how it's working.
Amazing. A 14 will indeed hit. And, okay, so 6 damage. All right. So you strike him a solid blow, and he kind of staggers
I must
back.
have-
As you hit him.
Wow, it works. I can now hover over it, and it tells me that I rolled a 1 for damage. This is really cool.
Very good stuff. Okay, so that is you. That's going to bring us to Silvo is up next. Silvo, what would you like
Excellent.
to
What is this on the map?
do? That is a jolly boat. That is the upside-down boat, which is lashed with ropes.
Excellent
with
stuff.
the mast.
What's my movement? 30. Are these 5-foot squares?
They are 5-foot squares.
Okay. I am gonna move about here. And in the process of that, what you see is, what you may not see is like a translucent but also black-looking liquid just immediately starts to cover Silvo's skin. It looks a little bit like oil, but then disappears quite quickly. And whilst he's running away, Mage Armor has just been cast upon him,
Okay.
which increases my dexterity to 13. Not my dexterity, my AC to 13 plus my dexterity modifier for the next 8 hours.
Okay. Which gives you an AC of what? What's your dex modifier?
15.
Okay.
So it's 13 plus 2.
So 15. Okay. Great.
Yep.
Okay. Done.
And I just kind of hunker down near the jolly boat.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Now the bad guys go. The first one has a very easy target. It's the Kenku who just struck him, and he doesn't like it. So he is going to attack you with his scimitar, as they say. But I think that's might be a miss. 14? 14 will miss.
14 does not hit.
Okay. So he
The
swings at
Kenku.
you, and he
Haha.
curses. Stupid bird. And then this one, terrible bird bigotry. This guy
Yes.
is going to come, let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah. He's going to come here and is going to also attack you. Waves. Ooh. And does so. You are so angry at the bigotry of the first one, you don't notice the other one critically hitting you. As he just brings his scimitar down with furious anger. Let's see. He's going to do 7 points of damage to you, Waves, of slashing damage.
How much damage did I take at the rocks earlier? Because
Two.
you said a couple.
It was 24 out
So
of
that's
2. So you had 24 out of 26 minus the 7 that he just did. So 17 is what I have yet.
17. Okay.
So he does that, and then chuckles. I'll clip your feathers. And then this other one here is going to try to make it down. I don't know if he's going to. Trying to decide if he's going to be a hero and try to vault the railing. I think he's going to try to be a hero and vault the railing. So we're going to see him. He's going to have to make a check to make sure that he doesn't fall on his face when he does that. He does not. He actually practically parkours off the railing. And then, so that puts him down here. So that's 4, 10, 15. And he comes alongside and is also attacking you. You have clearly attracted their attention, apparently, Waves.
This is fine.
I think that's
I
going to
imagine
be a
Waves
miss,
is
though.
in her element right now.
13, I assume, is a miss.
No, 13. If 14 doesn't hit, 13 doesn't hit me either.
Okay, yes, right, right. So, okay, so that is a miss. Actually, it wasn't even. It was a 12, so. Okay, that is a miss. All right, and that's going to be that. You also do hear the sound of, because they're yelling and, sort of shouting, so you do hear the sound of banging noises coming from below deck as if someone has been roused. And that's going to bring us to Morthwheel.
Okay. Well, Phil's going to move over to here and start pulling up the knotted rope.
Okay. All right. Down like that. Okay. All right. He's going to start pulling up the knotted rope. Now, this is heavy, so it'll take probably this round and next round to do that if you're just sort of like frantically doing it. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep the guy in the water.
Okay. Well, speaking of the guy in the water, he's going next. And so he is going to make a frantic kind of like jump leap if he can to try to get to the rope. So he's going to make his own check. He's going to fail terribly. And,
Out of the water?
He tried sort of a, type of thing.
Yeah.
But he does not
Lunge.
get anywhere close. And so instead, he starts clambering onto the boat. And we'll see what happens with that. And finally, Brian, it is your turn as you see this all unfold. Waves is under some duress, you see. Sorry, you're muted. I think.
We can't hear you at all.
We can't hear you, Ananda.
Mute.
I'm sorry, I muted myself because I was coughing. Do apologise. The guy in the crow's nest, I can't see him at all, can I?
Correct.
Line of sight.
Correct.
Okay, I am going to aim my crossbow at this one here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you got the elevated position, so you have the high ground, Anakin. And you can
Right.
fire away at that one.
Okay. 17
Definitely a hit.
for 8 piercing.
Okay. Thunk. And sort of looks bewildered as he sort of looks around. Make a stealth check for me, please, Brian.
Okay. 10.
He has no idea where the hell you are. He's like, someone else is here! Someone else is here! He has no idea, where you are, though. Okay. So, good stuff, Brian. And are you staying there, or are you going to leap out and...
Would I be able to start raising the anchor as a bonus action?
You're going to immediately reveal your position, if that matters to you, if you do that. And you would certainly wake anyone else up who wasn't already woken. But you certainly can start doing that, sure, if you want. Not as a bonus action. I'd say you need a full action for this.
It would need a full action.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm just going to stay where I am for now.
Okay. All right, that's going to bring us up to the top of the round. No one has appeared yet, although that seems imminent. Waves, you are up next. You have 3 of these guys on you, one of whom you've hit very hard once.
So the one that I hit, that was also the one that got poked by Inanda, or is it a different one? By Brian?
That was a different one. This one here is the one that you... No, I'm sorry. This one yes. This one here is the one that you hit, and this is the one that Brian hit. So this one is fresh.
Okay. Well, let the poking continue, I guess. So I will just poke the same guy again. I mean, he seemed to work out last time.
Okay.
So click. 24.
Wow, that will hit.
But again, only a 6. I only roll like 1 for damage. Wait, I'm sorry. No, I get +2 bonus damage because I have dueling. Because I'm only wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons.
So you do
I can click on it. Duel. Oh my god, how did it? So when you're wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, which I think I'm doing, you gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls with that weapon.
Okay.
So I did 2 more last round and I'm doing 2 more this round. So 8 last round, 8 this round.
Okay,
So we're
well, with
16 damage.
With that being said, you
I'm
pierce
sorry.
this guy right through the throat. And he
Wonderful.
kind of drops to the
Throat
ground.
again. Oh, my days.
And the other two
It's a bird
sort
thing.
of, oh, get up here!
Yeah.
Get up here! And they're all shouting, and now there's lots of banging and doing, 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 you know, like alarm bells and everything going off.
I fear we have lost the element of surprise.
They may know you're here now. So there's that.
We ever really
And,
have it.
So good work, Waves. Are you staying where you are with these two right on top of you?
Yeah, well, yes, this is where I need to work now.
This is where my work is. All right, Silvo, that leads us to you.
I'm going to shoot an arrow at this one.
Okay. You're going to have to slide, I think, left or right because you have a jolly bolt in front of you. Yeah, that's fine. You can do that.
Yep.
Go ahead and fire away.
Firing. That would be a 21.
Yes.
Yep.
And
7 points of damage.
7 will hit, and that's the one that was already hit. So you'll be happy to know that dude goes down. Also through the throat.
Wow.
And I'd like you to make a stealth check for me, please.
Uh-huh. Six.
Okay. So he clearly now sees you, this guy over here, and is like, "Oi!" Although he doesn't have too much time to worry about it because he's got an angry Kenku in his face. But he definitely sees
And
you for the extent that
He saw me run, right?
matters. He might have, but he would have forgotten about it. In any case, any element of, I'm hunkered down is now gone.
Yeah.
Okay, and Silvo, are you going to move at all after you've done that? Or
Yes, I'm going to move back to here.
okay. All right, then it is his turn. Let's see. He is going to place his notes somewhere so that he can consult his mind about where he should move. Let's see. Okay. He is... All right, so what he's going to do is he's going to slash at you first, Waves, with a 20, not natural.
20 hits.
With his scimitar slashing down. Just a glancing blow, though. 2 points of damage only.
Okay.
And then he is going to disengage from you 5 feet, and he's basically now hanging on to the ladder, as if he's going to, try climbing up, basically. So he just disengaged.
So he's very close to the railing again.
Well, but he's holding onto a ladder. So yes, he's close to the railing, but he's holding onto a ladder right now. He's not just standing there. Just for what you know. But if you want to charge at him and try to push him over off the ladder, you can certainly make that an effort if you will. Might not be as easy this time, but yes.
You just have to push harder.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, simultaneous to that, though, a couple of people come bursting out. First of all, bursting out of this door is... There we go. Is the strange with the scar on her face that you saw before. So she comes bursting out and immediately assessing the situation, climbs, so basically 5, 10, 15, 20, comes up to the railing here, basically, and then looks down at you, Waves, again being the immediate threat that seems to be doing all the immediate damage. Also, the first thing that she saw, frankly, Waves as a brightly colored Kenku wielding a rapier does stand out slightly in the minds of people who are just like, aha.
We just got attacked by a bird that is armed.
Well, wonders never cease, right? Okay. And, let's see, is going to... Yes. All right. Is going to point a finger down at you, and a green, glowing, mystic arrow emerges and fires down at you. Let's see whether or not it's going to actually hit. Okay. I think that might. Let's see. Yeah, that's 21, so that definitely will hit.
Yeah, 21 hits.
Hits a lot.
Why? Why it's so high?
Okay. You are going to take, okay. You're going to take 10 points of acid damage, Waves, as this thing splashes into you.
Okay.
Fortunately, no one else is around you at the moment, but you're going to take 10 acid damage, and you are now, acid is covering your feathers. So what that means is at the end of your next turn, you are going to take another 2d4 acid damage next turn. So
It also means I'm going to be bleached.
that's right. Yes, there's also that. So let's see. Let me just mark.
I'm gonna look like a fucking dove. Or a goose.
I don't want peace.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
This is what it sounds like when the kangaroo cries. Duh, 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 duh. All right. All right. That was very funny.
This is horrible. I'm gonna die and look like a dove.
All right. And then bursting out of this door is apparently the captain with the impressive looking hat. Let's see if I can get the information about that guy who is going to burst forth. Let's see, and then I will come to everyone else. Sorry, I wasn't sure what order everybody was going to be coming to people in, so in terms of like how you were going to go about doing this. So let's see. So we're looking at that. Okay. So you can see that he has actually got he's actually got a long sword, not a scimitar, a long sword in one hand, and he's got a hand crossbow in the other. And as he comes out of the door, sort of loaded for bear, or in this case, Kenku, he sort of looks at you and he's like, "Arr! Parrots are meant to be on my shoulder, not on the deck!" And he fires his crossbow at you. And critically misses because his thing was too funny, apparently. His joke was not good enough to make that one.
They all think they are Spider-Man.
He then leaps forward, though. He makes two attacks, this guy, one with his hand crossbow and one with his longsword. And he will try to hit you with his longsword. And he is going to get, but it's only a 13, so that will be a miss, fortunately.
Yes, that misses.
Just misses. And he says, "Come up, you swabs! What are you doing? The ship needs defending!" And you hear, roar, roar, roar. You hear, like, again, roaring and as if there's more people rushing up, but nobody else emerges yet. Okay, that is going to do it for those people. That means that we're now going to move on to Morthwell.
Okay. The situation has rapidly escalated, so he's abandoning his previous plan. He's just letting go of the rope.
Okay.
And he's going to move to here and cast Cure Wounds on Waves.
Okay. Seems like a wise idea.
Yes, doesn't it just? So that's going to be a 1d8 plus 3 for her. 1 second. 1d8. So 6 healed.
6 healed. Okay.
And then as a no, actually no, never mind.
So she's at 11, right? She's at 11 right now. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and that's it. I'm not going to use that bonus action. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to shift behind there.
Okay. Seems logical. All right. Now you hear a kind of scrabbling and scrambling, and there's some cursing. You get the impression that that Bjorn is trying to get up on this side, but is having a little trouble, and so is kind of struggling to get up to the deck, but hasn't been able to do so yet. And that leads us to Brine. Brine, you are up next. What would you like to do?
Awesome.
This one's
when just a question. When we were back at the Cove, right at the end of the last session, and I did my cantrip to shape water and then pull the guys down, did I use my action surge then?
I'm trying to remember about whether you used your action surge, because I think you wanted, because I think you wanted to get both of them down before either could react. So I think you told me that you wanted to use both.
I think I did. I just couldn't remember, which is why I wanted to check.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna aim my crossbow at this.
Okay, the
one
wizard
up here.
type.
Yeah.
All right. Certainly plenty of range. You can fire away when you will. Actually, that's a 50, which I think should be within the light crossbow range. I think light crossbow 60, 120. I want to say.
I think so. 15.
And 15, I think is going to hit. Yes, 15 will hit. But I'm going to just check quickly and make sure about that range. Let's see. A light crossbow. Yeah, it has plenty. It actually has 80 range. So yes, that's fine. You do hit.
Excellent for 8 piercing.
She says. Make a stealth check for me, please.
I shall do indeed. Stealth? 9. Not so stealthy.
So she sees you and she's like, like, I see you over there. You
I'm
think
just
you're so
waving.
smart, and she kind of like looks at you as if she maybe semi-recognizes you, but doesn't say anything else. Okay, Brian, are you staying where you are?
I am. Am I in some like part cover behind the capstan?
Not really cover. The big thing it was doing was concealing you. Now that that's revealed, it's because it's pretty squat. It's not a big like tall thing. It's more wide than tall, so not really much cover. I guess if you like lay on the ground, it would, but that would be a little bit.
I'm not making myself proud. No, I'm staying where I am at the moment, so I've got height advantage.
Okay. All right, that's going to bring us back up to Waves. Waves, you are up. You've got, at the end of your turn, I believe I said, you're going to take another 2d4 damage, be aware. So,
Is there anything I can do, like shake myself as an action or something to get rid of the acid from my feathers?
there's one way, and it's called leaping into the water.
Yeah, no.
Other than that,
I'm needed
prepare
here.
to
This
burn.
is not gonna.
Unfortunately.
This is not gonna happen. So I'm gonna shout, and it will sound like this.
Okay.
And I cast Thunderous Smite on myself.
Ooh, okay.
The next melee attack that hits will have the effect of Thunderous Smite. And now I try to hit the captain, who is, I think, still standing in front of me.
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's see if I can get a shot at him. Eight?
8 is not going to hit, unfortunately. He ducks out of the way, and he says, Polly want a sword.
What did he say?
He said Polly want a sword. It's like, I have this image of you being like,
very
what did you say?
day.
What did you say?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! They have all been waiting for this day, I can actually see. So I could still have a move action, right?
Yes, correct. You could disengage if you did a full move, you would provoke an attack of opportunity, but just to disengage 5 feet is fine. If you want to do that.
Yeah, but that would then Morthwell is not undercover, or not behind me anymore. So I've used the bonus action for the Thunderous Smite and the attack. Do I still have an action left in this case? No, I don't, right?
Nope. Just a move.
Okay. Nope, then I don't have anything to say about the poly thing, which is horrible. But in that case, I stay where I am because I'm not going to expose Mortal.
Okay, you're going to take 5 more points of acid damage, and then it's now burned off of your feathers, which are now, your beautiful feathers are now whitened in some places. So you are down to, I have you at 6 out of 26, but you are no longer burning from acid. Okay, and that's going to bring us to Silvo, who is up next. Silvo, what would you like to do?
So, make sure I wasn't on mute. Yes, so Silvo's going to come out from behind the jolly boat.
Okay.
I can't, if I move to here, I can't see and aim at the captain, can I?
If you come there, right, because you've got the ship, right, yeah, you can't do that. You would need to slide behind, like, you could probably slide behind Morthwill and shoot over his head.
Well, like here.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could, that puts you closer to the railing, but you could do that. Or you could go where you were going, and then you could shoot that distance, yes.
Yeah, here's fine. I think over here is fine. It's closer to where I was. Okay, so Silvo kind of points his crossbow, fully loaded now, points his crossbow at the captain, takes very careful aim, and for a second, nothing happens, and Morthwell, you can probably just hear Silvo appears to be whispering to his crossbow. And there's a weird kind of like trance look in his eyes, like there's a stone cold look in his vision. And I'd like the captain to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, give me 1 second as I address one issue, and then I will do that.
Yep. Yeah, Morthwill can probably just slightly hear.
Okay.
Coming from Silvo.
Okay. Okay, good. That's helpful what I just did. Good. You sent me a clip. All right, let me see. Let me take care of that after I deal with this. Okay, wisdom saving throw, you said, right?
Yes.
Oh, he sure as hell doesn't make that. So he's just like, oh.
Okay, excellent stuff. He takes 3d6 psychic damage. So bear with me.
Okay.
For those keeping count at home, that was dissonant whispers.
Ah, yes.
So he takes.
It was used in my
11
campaign.
Hey,
Okay.
fantastic.
11.
So, does that kill him outright?
No, not even close.
Okay. So he must
pretty
then
tough
immediately use his reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from the source of the noise. The creature doesn't move into obviously dangerous ground, such as fire or a pit. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so what
use his
that-
reaction to move away from me.
Given that, what he's going to do is he's going to go like this. I'm going to let Waves get an attack on him, of opportunity on him in a minute. 10, 15, 20. So he's going to
Really
get
hope
up.
he jumps over her.
He's going to get up here he's going to get up here, but you get an attack of opportunity as he leaves the area because he looks pretty freaked out, Waves.
Okay, attack of opportunity incoming. 9.
Sadly, no. He just swing at
I'm
him
so
wildly.
confused by all the acid stuff. It's just
Exactly. What is that sound? Okay, so he gets up there. Let's see. And gets up to that side. Okay. Now, quickly, let me remove. No, that's not it. Let me go to. Get rid of. Right. Okay. Let me take a look and see this clip that you just posted here. What is this clip? Is this the intense fight turned more intense?
What did you say?
Oh, this is the part where okay. So Echo just put the just clipped the part where I was just like where he the captain made the poly joke about being a poly and all that stuff. Yes, it just increased the intensity of the fight increased. Thank you, Echo. That's funny. Okay. So, good stuff. All right, that's going to take care of Silva. Silva, where are you moving to, if anywhere?
I am going to move. I'm going to move. Can I also use a bonus action?
You haven't used one yet, so if you have a bonus action,
Yes,
sure.
excellent stuff. I'm going to move back here, and as a bonus action, I mean, physically this probably just feels like gas or wind to Silvo, but he's going to expend his 2 sorcery points to gain an additional spell slot.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Okay, so you're able to do that. And that brings us to the bad guys. And speaking of the bad guys, okay. So bursting out with scimitars drawn, you see 1, 2, let's see, 3.
Oh, God.
Bursting out of here and 1 more.
Maurice.
Okay. These two basically, this one comes out of the stairs, but he's going to basically come to here. All right. Basically, they come out and they are ready to go. So these two are going to charge directly at Waves, and just keep on running with the scimitars, and are going to attack twice. Okay, so let's see, we've got. All right, that is going to be that's a 17 on you, Waves.
Nope.
I'm afraid.
Nope.
You have a 19.
I've got a 19.
Okay. And then the other.
Finally,
is-
my AC is. I'm level 2 with an AC of 19. I shouldn't get hit all the time.
That's true. The other one gets a 15, so that's going to be a miss.
Yeah.
These two, however, coming up, sort of look around. I'm going to actually roll and see. On a 1 to 2, they're going to see Silvo, and a 3 to 4, they're going to worry about Morthwill. 1 to 2, sorry, Silvo. They both come out and they see you, and both of them immediately come in to slash away.
Hey, fellas.
First one is a 16.
That's a hit.
And the second one, is
Even
a
with
22.
mage armor?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
because
it's
mage armor is
15 with
15,
mage
right?
armor.
The second one's a 22. So that's...
Oh, yeah, just a little.
So, let's see. That is a total of 9 damage slashing from the two of them collectively. So, so they both strike you. Those were those two that came up. Okay. Next one is the wizard. Oh, go ahead, Silvo.
If I have a spell that says casting time is 1 reaction, which you take when you are hit by an attack or targeted by the magic missile spell.
That's what happened. You were hit.
Okay, so as the sword comes down, please correct me if I'm wrong with this. As the sword comes down, what looks like a barrier appears in front of me, and the sword
shield.
just
Good stuff.
doing bounces off, which will increase my AC to +5, which will give me an AC of 20 at the moment.
So that one would have hit you, but not the other one,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so then in that case, you are only going to take 5 points of damage. So that means that you are at 8, I think.
Yes.
Okay. All right, good stuff. Shield is
Cool.
very valuable.
Shield.
Okay.
Pow.
Good stuff. All right, that's going to lead us down to the wizard. And the wizard actually murmurs something, and for just a moment there is a little bit of a shimmering that appears around her skin, and then she's going to move behind the captain. And there's one thing that the captain did not do, actually, which I forgot about because he was up on that area and I just found him. When the one aims for you, Waves, and I wanted to use this once because I think it's a really funny one. There is a reaction he has which is called Shape Up, Ye Dog. And so what it is he literally yells like, you want to be swabbing the bilge deck for the rest of your life? You hit better, you buffoon. And the other one's like, oh, yes, sir. And he gets to try to hit you again. So it's literally called Shape Up, Ye Dog. I love it so much.
Okay, that captain needs to die.
And that one is going to be... I think that's going to be the one that was on... I'm trying to decide if it's the one on Waves or the one on... I'm going to have one each. You can do it a couple times. So I'm going to have him do one on Waves and one on Silvo. So the one on Waves then becomes an 18, which is still not enough. And then the other one is... On the other one, he just like... You buffoon, look at him. He's a wee little thing. You should be able to destroy him. Hurry up, or you're going to be taking barnacles off with your tongue. Oh, yeah, sorry. And he also tries to hit again. I don't think that's going to do it. That's a 10, which is not enough. So his reaction does not do the job, and he kind of curses. You want something done right. And he then comes down. Now, the thing about Dissonant Whispers is it is not like being turned. It does not keep lasting. So he is going to come back down. 20, and he's going to come up here. He will fire away just before he gets to you with his hand crossbow waves at you. And then he will try to hit you with his longsword. So first his hand crossbow, which is... I think it's going to hit. Let's see. Okay, let's see. That is that's an 11, so that's not anywhere close. 12, sorry, but still not anywhere close. And then he's going to try with his longsword. That's better, but still not good enough. 14, so both of those miss. And he, curses to himself. He's like, all right, hurry up. He's like, where are the lizards then? Get the lizards out here, he yells. And that's going to lead us to Morthwheel, who's up next.
Okay, so Morthwheel is popping a new crystal back into his little needle, which starts to go glow green, and from behind, Waves just hears, you might feel a stinging sensation, and then she's jabbed in the back for another Cure Wounds.
Okay.
This is the best fight ever.
That's certainly 1d8 plus 3 even, so that's for 5 this time.
All right, so that brings you up to 11, I think, Waves.
Okay.
Okay, and what about
that's the
movement
last
with
you're
him?
going to get out of me for that, though. And with that,
I'm not-
he's... Yep. So Morthwheel's actually going to start scurrying over to the stairs. Now, I've got speed of 25. Will that get me to the top?
Okay, with 25... So, let's see. So you're talking...
So from here...
Yep.
Are these 5 or 10 feet squares?
5 foot squares.
Okay.
So you're trying to get up to... Oh, up to there?
Yeah, top of the
5,
stairs. So from
10.
here.
Yes, you can get there, yeah.
Okay.
You're up there, and you
Uh,
see now Brian is up there, too.
A wave.
Hey, fancy meeting you here.
Hi.
Waves is looking a bit in trouble down there.
I think we've both got some health potions.
I don't.
I know that I bought 2 doses, and I think Brian bought some as well. But I think I need to take care of this little scamp across the way, and I'm pointing at the one that's been shooting acid arrows.
The
at,
wizard, yes.
Mm.
Indeed. So I think that's about as much as all you can say to each other. So you hear Waves. You hear from the side of the boat this bilging barnacles. And whoever is apparently the Bjorn is having a really hard time climbing up the side of the ship, and that's going to bring us to Brian with Waves on deck. Brian, what would you like to do?
I am going to shoot my crossbow at the wizard again.
Okay.
14.
14 is not going to hit. The shimmering thing that you see sort of around the creature sort of flares up and it misses. Your bolt misses. Apparently she has protected herself somehow.
Okay. I'm not going to move from where I am. I think it's a good vantage point. So I don't think I've got any bonus actions that I can do at the moment.
Okay.
So that's me done.
Okay. Let's see. So, all right. Then that's going to bring us then
Okay.
to Silvo. Sorry, Waves. I beg your pardon. Wrong. First Waves, then Silvo. Waves is up next.
Okay. Can I do a lay on hands on myself and then attack?
We'll see if lay on hands is a bonus action or not.
No, it's an action.
Then no. Then you can't.
Then no. Can I chuck a health potion and then
Drinking a health
Attack.
potion is, I think, an action. Bear with me. I don't remember because it's changed. It used to be that it was only an action, and then there was some debate about it. So hold on a second.
I don't know what the newest ruling on it is either.
Yeah.
I saw the debate, but I don't
is-
know what came out of it.
I didn't even see the debate.
It's there are forums for this.
But
anyway, I just hope we get rid of the captain.
It does take an action.
Well, then there is nothing I can do. But then in this case, I would like to take an inspiration from Echo Alpha.
Echo has been
attack
inspired,
the captain.
apparently.
Yes, he said there are 2 inspirations that we can use if we want to, and I would like to take one of them.
Okay. All right, Echo. I'm going to make a note to adjust that later.
Okay. And now I want to use this the inspiration to attack the captain with advantage.
Okay. All right. Proceed.
Because now I really want to hit it. 18 and 18. Ah!
You picked 18.
But I take the 12 plus 2.
No.
No.
No. How about you roll the damage now? You had a chance to roll each one.
But,
so.
but I rolled.
Yeah, but you can't. No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay, I'll see if I
Nice
can.
try, though.
Yeah.
Thank you. How do I? I'm just
Is it applying
trying
the bonus damage now?
Because there's going to be a lot of bonus damage now, like lots of it. But I can't. Usually I could click on rapier now on the list, and then it would get the damage, but it doesn't work anymore.
Whoever heard of a parrot doing bonus damage?
Okay, so it's 1d8 plus 5 is my usual damage, so it's 1d8 plus 2 for my base damage.
Okay.
I'm just going to roll it by hand then.
Okay.
1d8 plus 7 for my base damage.
Okay.
That's 13.
Okay.
Now the thunderous smite happens because I hit somebody.
Right.
And that's 2d6 additional damage, I think. Let's see. It's 2d6 thunder damage, just in case he is.
Got it, Echo. Thanks.
I don't know. So 2d6 thunder damage now happens. And it's getting really loud because it does like a thunder noise. 2d6 plus 0 thunder damage.
Okay, he's been thunderstruck. All right, roll those. Yep.
That's 3. And because I hit him with the thunderous smite, he now does a strength saving throw. And if he doesn't succeed, then funny things are going to happen.
He doesn't succeed.
Well, he's going to be pushed away 10 feet directly backwards.
Okay. So that means.
And if he doesn't fall in the water, he is knocked prone.
Okay, I think what's going to happen is, he's going to ram into the side and fall prone. I do want to ask, though, very quickly, Thunderous Smite is the next hit or the next attack? Because you made an attack already. Oh, it is next hit. Okay,
the next
great.
hit.
That's,
the first time you hit with an melee attack.
Everyone's like, thunder, thunder, thunder. All right. So,
and it just boom!
Yep,
It was
so
really
this
loud. It's
just
getting really,
echoes
really, really
everywhere
loud.
And he falls prone. Okay, so grand total of, let's see, 13 plus 3, so 16
damage.
points of damage was done there. Okay.
I mean, maybe he gets some extra damage for slamming into the railing. I don't know.
I would say yes. I'm going to give him a couple of others. Yep. So I'm going to say 2 more damage for that.
This was.
So, okay, now he's definitely looking hurt, but is not dead. This guy's kind of tough, but he is not dead
Can I
yet.
still shout something?
Oh, sure.
Okay, I'm going to shout... surrender. Let's shout surrender really, really loud.
Okay. So are you able
I'm pretty sure I'm going to have heard that before somewhere. I think Sambalet said it to us. Sambalet told us to surrender. I'm going to use Sambalet's voice.
Okay.
I'm going to shout in Sambalet's voice, surrender.
Surrender, you hear. And there's sort of and they all kind of look around, like, including the captain. And the captain's like, never mind that magic. And he spits out some blood. Bird, just attack, you buffoons. Okay. Good stuff, Waves. Are you, so you did that. I'm going to actually push him right next to the railing here. Okay. And now you've got those 2 on you. You're going to stay where you are, Waves? Or not?
I really hope that somebody's going to come to my aid, but you'd never know. So I will move. I think I'm going to move 1 down because I want to threaten the captain next turn.
Okay. Okay.
So that's it for me.
If you're just disengaging 5 feet. That's fine. Yep, you can do that. Okay, great. That now is going to lead us to Silvo. Is up next. Silvo is kind of got some issues in the form of 2 pirates.
Yeah, a little bit. So I want to try and intimidate these two guys, but if that fails, I'd like to cast a spell, but I don't know if that would
Can't
be
do
2
both.
actions.
Intimidate
Okay.
is an action. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to... I have my crossbow out, but
Okay.
I'm going to hold my crossbow in one hand. I'm going to hold my hand out, and I'm going to say, now, I definitely nearly turned your captain's brains inside out. You don't want me to tear your soul from your body, do you?
Okay, so you're going to actually attempt to intimidate?
Yep.
Okay. Which one are you... Because this is not really... Who are you aiming this at most? Because you really can't intimidate both.
Can I not try? This one. The one right in front of me.
Okay. So I will ask you then to make a charisma check on this guy. Actually, yeah, intimidate. So if you have proficiency, great. Otherwise, just a charisma check.
Yes, I do. 14.
14. Let's see how he does. Oh, he's just like, really, lad? It's what I saw. We almost turned your insides all out. He does not seem intimidated by you.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Is there anything else I can do at this point?
You could disengage 5 feet. You could run away and deal with attacks of opportunity.
If I disengage 5 feet, can I then move after that?
Nope. Only disengage is the move. So you would either disengage, preventing attacks of opportunity, but separating yourself from them, or just a straight move, but a move will provoke attacks. A disengage will not.
Okay. I'm going to move even with attack of opportunity.
Okay.
So do we want to do the attack of opportunity first?
I will do that first. We have... Oh, that's bad. We have 18, and we have a critical hit.
Yeah, so they both hit.
That was not so hot.
Excellent.
Great. Yeah, it's 11 points of damage.
I'm down.
So they both strike you as you leave. So Silvo hits the deck, and you can
and
see...
after a long moment, Silvo breathes life anew once again and splutters blood. As you see his tattoo move very slightly under his skin.
Yes, indeed. And actually, yeah, do you... where's your hit point total at, theoretically?
1.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, yeah, that, and I guess I would say, who is it that might see that? You know what, I'm not sure anybody would, because Brian is up above, and Waves is dealing with the captain, and Morthwheel is up on the upper deck too. So
yeah,
yeah,
no
I don't think anybody sees that. So I think it's just, so okay.
It's just a thing that happened.
You are prone though, Silvo. You'll be able to get up if you want next turn as your first action, but you were knocked to the ground.
Cool. Well, not cool, but
let me get rid of the death symbol. Okay. Good stuff there, and that was okay. So it's now their turn, and let's see. The first action is going to be for this one to close in. They're going to try to hit Waves if they can. Let's see. We're looking at a 21, which is going to hit, I think, and a 12.
Yes.
21
the
and a
third
12.
21.
That is only 3 points of damage, though. You'll be happy to know. And the other one misses wildly, and the captain can no longer do the shape up you dog things. Okay, these ones are going to assume that Silvo is dead, actually, and I think they're going to run over to try to join the situation with Waves. So we're going to get 2 more attacks, 17 and 12. So those are both misses. This is like...
Nope.
There's a lot of people around you at this point. Okay. Now, the wizard, meanwhile, up top, we have the upper deck battle between Brine and the wizard. And the wizard is going to aim at Brine and then is going to fire away. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to fire away with a green arrow at you, another one of those green glowing arrows, and is going to horrifically miss. However... the thing about this particular spell is that even on a miss, some damage is still going to be done. So,
I do have magic resistance with the rune that Morthwell gave me, and I've got acid resistance because I'm a water genist.
I don't think the rune gives you magic resistance. It just makes your weapon a +1 magic weapon.
I'd written it down as magic resistance.
No, +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with it and counts as magical.
Okay.
So you're going to take, so that's actually, it works out okay though, because you were going to take, you normally would have taken 10, but because it missed, you take 5, and because you are resistant, you take 3. So you will take 3 acid damage, Brian, and you will not take any damage next turn because it didn't hit you. So could be worse, basically, is what I'm saying. And then I think, is this one going to do anything other than... No, I think it's just going to try to like stay light on her feet, basically. Now the captain, who is currently prone, is going to stand up, looking very upset, and says, "No scurvy bird is going to take over my ship," and is going to fire his hand crossbow into your face, or attempt to anyway. Waves, and is going to miss horrifically, and is going to try with his long sword to hit, but that I think is going to hit. That is...
Is there any chance he accidentally hits one of his own men?
Sadly, no. Although that would have been helpful, but no, he didn't miss. He didn't critically miss that badly. But is a 24 on the longsword though. So
Yes, that hits.
okay, that is wow. That is. I hate to say this. That's 9 points of damage, Waves.
Take me down to -1.
9 points of damage. Waves goes down. That's bad.
Gosh darn, there were 3 21s and 124.
A lot of it, well,
That's
in this case, the
brutal.
fact that they get 2, you just have a number of them attacking you, and that dude gets 2 attacks, the captain does, so. Okay. And then the last thing is you hear more pounding down the stairs. I would say, Silvo, you probably hear that coming from somewhere down below, as if there are more, basically, that are dealing with stuff. Can you join as a dragon wearing plate armor and ambidextrous two-handed swords? That would be a no, Mr. Immortal, but I am greatly appreciative of your attempt to help our dear party, but sadly, no. I cannot allow that. Morthwheel, you were up next.
Okay. Morthwell's going to hurry down to the far corner here and basically got straight line of sight on the captain. So he's going to hold his shield out. The rune he engraved in the front glows and shoots a firebolt towards the captain.
It's a fireball.
Kaboom! Okay.
To be fair, it's a target-rich environment if I had
It
it,
is,
but
yeah, it is.
give me a few levels.
Okay.
Okay.
So firebolt,
So,
go ahead.
Firebolt going out. 21 to hit
21 will hit.
for 4 damage.
Okay. All right, he's looking pretty hurt. He's not dead, but he's quite hurt now. Okay, and then Morthwheel, you're staying where you are, or no?
Yes.
All right, let's see. This one. Okay, so Bjorn finally clambers over the railing after he's finally able to make it up, and it is like so completely out of breath that he's not going to be able to attack this turn, but is now on the field one way or the other. Which leads us to Brian. Brian, things are getting messy down there. Waves is down. You think you heard a cry from Silvo. We got some problems.
Okay, yes. I am going to shoot at the wizard again, and then I'm going to use my movement to get down there.
Okay.
13.
13 is not going to hit. That armor that she's using, that whatever that mysterious magic armor, is higher than that.
Okay, and then can I get down as far as, say, next to Silvo?
Yes, definitely. Even just by running normally. Or walking normally.
Okay, Silvo's not down, is he?
He's prone but not dead.
Yeah, I'm not dead. I'm breathing.
Okay. I'm going to just, like, at the top of my lungs, in my most intimidating manner, just, like, yell. I'm not going to do it now because I'll cough. Even just talking about it made me cough. But I am just going to yell at them in my most blood-curdling scream.
Okay. They all sort of, And the captain kind of looks over and is like, "Ah, it's Brian the Bloodthirsty, isn't? I've heard of you, but your crew ain't gonna win this day, you scurvy dog." So apparently your rep precedes you, but not enough to make him stop. Okay, Brian has done that, has moved. That leads us to Waves, who gets our first death save of the evening.
Okay. This is... I mean, I've been good with death saves. We all know this. It was not roll a 1, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely no ones. Hello, Petarismo.
18.
Oh yeah, fine. 1 death success so far.
It's all the training.
Yeah, the training of being almost dead. Okay, Waves successfully succeeds 1 time. Silvo, you are prone but can stand, as you said. And you can see the scenario. It's not great, at least at the moment.
Okay.
Although the captain looks quite hurt and Bjorn looks kind of messed up.
So the captain does look quite hurt.
Oh, yes.
How far away is Captain?
25 feet.
Cool. So there's almost like a gasping for air sound from Silvo. Brian probably hears just this sort of like, as I'm getting up, so I can get up and then do a thing, right? I can't get up, move, and do a thing.
Right, but you can get up and do a thing.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to get up, but there's this sort of like... and I would like the captain to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
He sure doesn't.
Okay, cool. He takes 1d6 poison damage.
Okay, go ahead and roll that.
As a cloud of mites, fleas, and other parasitic entities appear momentarily on his skin and begin to eat him.
Right.
1d6 damage, so that's 3 poison damage.
Okay.
And moves 5 feet in a random direction if it can move and its speed is at least 5 feet. Roll a d4 for the direction. Do you want to roll a d4 and I'll tell you where he goes?
Sure. Well, let's assume 1 is north, right? 1 is
2
this
is
way.
south. Yeah, 2
well,
is
no,
south.
I was
3
going to
is
say
east.
just like cardinal directions, like 1, 2, 3, and then
Yep.
4 was what I thought.
Yep.
Okay. He got a 2.
Hope for a 3. Hope for a 3.
Yeah, I know, right? No, he got a 2, so he would move this way. Now, I was about to say he would get an attack of opportunity, but Waves is currently dying, so no, he's not going to get any attack that way. So he just gets to the ladder, basically.
I'm willing.
Yeah, no, sadly no. All right. He does not like that, and again, looks quite hurt. Okay,
So I'm
Silvo.
no longer prone, correct?
Right, so we can remove that.
Yes, thank you.
All right, and that's going to lead us to the bad guys. So they are going to turn around, and they're going to rush towards Brine. 3 of them are going to try to do that. And this one is... Oh, we'll see about that. We'll deal with this one first. Okay, we're looking at a 14, a 12, a 13, a 13, and a 17. This 4th one comes over. So I don't know what I just said, but you heard the numbers, Brian. Do any of those hit?
All of them do.
All of them do?
Every single one. I've got an AC of 12.
Right.
That's why I was staying up near the caps.
No, I know. Okay, that's 19 points of damage with all of them. Wow. So you are just... so you have 3 points left, I think, if I read that right, Brian.
Yep, I've got 3 hit points left.
Okay. All right. Now, the cat, that was those. The wizard is probably not going to try to fire into that group, so he's going to use 1 more arrow on Morthwheel, who she can see. But I think that's going to miss. 12. Morthwheel is a miss?
Yep, that's a miss.
Okay, so that means you're only going to take... Oh, terrible roll. All right, so you're going to take 5, half of that, so 3. So you're only going to take 3 points of acid damage, and it won't be another one next turn.
Okay.
Okay. And then kind of moves over this way. And that leads us to the captain, who is going to run over to Waves and is going to hold his sword above the basically the heart of Waves and says, "All of you stand down, or the bird's gonna get it through the heart. You got me?"
I don't mind.
All right. So I'm going to let each of you decide that as we come to you, starting with you, Morthwheel.
I don't make an aggressive action, but I'm aiming the shield that everyone clearly saw the fireball come out of straight at the captain.
Okay. So we've got this standoff, right? The Mexican
Standoff.
standoff, right? Like the thing is just holding it over. And he's like,
You might kill her, I might kill him.
okay. What do you say anything, or you just you're just holding the thing out?
I'm just waiting.
Okay. Let's see. The first mate is finally like, and kind of climbs up and gets around basically to here, but does not attack yet, waiting to see what Brian's going to do. And that's going to lead us to you, Brian. So you are completely surrounded, and you just heard what was said.
Okay.
Okay, see you, Morning.
I am going to. I've got my scimitars out, which as I was running down the stairs, obviously knowing I was going into melee range. But I am going to hold my action and say to the captain, if you hurt one feather of my friend, then you'll be going down to Davy Jones' locker.
And so the captain doesn't say anything. He's just sort of panting, breathing heavily. Okay, Waves, I need you to make another death save. Somewhere in the wanderings of your unconscious, you hear something about stuff, but,
Yeah, stuff is always happening somewhere. Okay. 16.
Okay, 2 death successes. Silvo, you've heard what's been said. Your call on this one.
So, Silvo's not going to move or do anything, but in the almost back of the captain's mind, he can hear a young man's voice, because he's never heard Silvo talk. And there's an exhausted voice that just says, "We're all weak, and we're all ready to keel over, regardless of how we feel. If your sword moves down, I will tear this ship apart from the inside out."
So
And I'm going to hold my action. If he lowers his sword to attack Waves, I'm going to use my last spell slot to cast Dissonant Whispers on him.
Okay, he does not lower his sword. Instead, he says, "Whoever's doing that stuff in my head is what you brought to my skin, too. I didn't hear a yes or a no. Are you all standing down or not?" And there's this moment's silence. Actually, just everybody's sort of staring at each other. In fact, I would say the music at this point stops. And everyone is staring at each other. Morthwheel on the top deck, holding his shield out towards the captain with it glowing red. The wizard up on the top, like holding her hands kind of glowing up there. All the bandits holding up theirs. Brian with her swords. Silvo panting heavily. Like Waves just sort of lying prone on the deck. And there's just a moment's silence. And the captain says, "Do you stand down or not?" That seems to be generally to the 3 people who are conscious.
Brian, what do we do?
Morthwheel throws his shield on the ground.
I'm not going to throw my swords on the ground. I'm going to sheath them.
Okay, Silvo.
I'll drop my crossbow.
Okay, so you do that. There's a moment's pause. Then bursting out of the room is apparently the last remaining person who's just like, and just sort of falls onto this and falls onto the deck practically and looks around and then And she says, "Sorry, Captain, I was down there supervising." Shut up, Frith. The captain says, "So, it seems we've got some people from the shore that took an interest in us. Now they're about to learn what that means. Make sure that this one, you," and he yells up to the wizard, "come down, get this one up. Then you put the lot of them in the brig. We'll let their pain argue with them for a while." And that's where we're going to bring our session to a close for today. I have to say that the party did exceedingly well and got a lot of people out onto the deck, ran into a little bit of bad luck, did a lot of good planning, and has clearly weakened this crew significantly. And so now we'll see how they play things going forward. Just in case anyone thinks like Arv was saving them. No, this was the way that things were going to break down if the fight went in this direction. So I am proud of the party's work. However, oh yeah, is that? Let me just double check on that. Inanda, are we sure about that AC-12?
Pies just messaged me. I have chainmail. I've got my AC down as 12.
It's definitely
Pies
not
just
12
said
if you have
it should have
chainmail.
been 16.
Absolutely not.
I looked it up in the book, and it's 16. She had 16 all the time.
So that would mean, you would have more like, I don't remember the numbers at this point, but I think you would have been hit by a few of them. So let's say that you'd be at like 15 out of 25, maybe, Brian. I'm not sure that would change your actions here, though. I mean,
it wouldn't change my actions
situation's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't change my actions because I want. The reason that I got down here was because I saw waves had gone down, but the sword over waves would have halted me in my tracks regardless.
Okay. So, all right. So I would say, so we got you at 15 out of 25. Otherwise, so it was a good fight. And if the party is at all disappointed, I want you to say you fought very well. And this is all part of the adventure in the mix. Now the question is, how do you get out of this? I will also say that as you're going to be brought down to the brig, Silvo, you can hear a lizard-like hiss from the door behind you. I did want to mention that too. So,
fun.
Very, very exciting to see all this work, and I cannot wait to see what happens. If you want a ship, you got to fight. You gotta suffer and fight, and no, the suffer part was just how things went down. But nonetheless, I was very, very pleased with how the session went down. I thought it was a great session for chat to watch too. Really, really fun session to kind of play out, and we will see how the party thinks their way. Man, it's going to be hard waiting weeks for this next session, but how the party thinks its way out of this situation. I will start at the bottom of the group, by which I mean the bottom right square, with Ananda. The work that you did, both getting the smugglers from the shore down, and then the work that you did getting up on the ship, dealing with the wizard. Brian has really had a chance to use the Genasi powers to good effect. This situation, you were right. I think that with an AC-16, you probably could feel better about getting into a fight than what you might have felt previously, but you also were dealing with multi-level threats like the wizard and other problems. So I think it was reasonable not to want to be like, okay, until at that point there's just too many people. But, you took down a lot of that crew. You just couldn't take down all of them. How did you feel about today's session, Ananda? Where will the fine folks see you next?
I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy our sessions, and Brian got to flex a little bit of her water genasi skills that she's not prior been able to, which I'm really pleased with. And we're on a ship. She's got her sea legs. This is home. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how this session went. Although I want to get to waves as quickly as possible and gently pour a healing potion down her throat, but that's for the next session.
Yeah, and I should say before you go on, the wizard does stabilize waves, in case anyone was curious. That's why I'm not having a roll, because the captain told him to do that. Captain apparently wants all of you alive because, I don't know, I sensed an interrogation in all of your futures. Anyway, on you go, Brian.
Well, as I say, that's for next session. As far as where people can find me, I will be on my own channel as normal, Tuesdays through Fridays. I'm currently, I'm doing Ananda's Indies. So this week I am doing, today was Disco Elysium, tomorrow and Thursdays Valheim, Fridays Hades, and then I'll be back over here on GOG on Saturday, probably playing a sale game, but I haven't chosen it yet.
This sounds good. I am excited to see some of those games unfold, and I'm looking forward to having Ananda back for D&D with GOG next month. Thank you, Ananda. Good stuff as always. Also, very good stuff today from Silvo. Mike, Silvo had some important things with the Dissonant Whispers. I like the idea that you had the one Dissonant Whispers slot left. You got a little unlucky just because of the position. I mean, it makes sense. Like, I think the only thing maybe Silvo could have done is maybe get to the top deck, and then you've just got the wizard to deal with. But, the problem was that I think Waves had the right idea in trying to surprise and kind of get the jump on them at some point. I think that was probably reasonable. It's just that at a certain point, people got overwhelmed a little bit by numbers, and there wasn't a whole lot that could be done, especially because you were next to the door through which two of them actually came. And they could have gone after Waves also, like Waves didn't have enough to deal with. But in any case, and we got a chance to see Silvo's I thought you were dead, I'm only mostly dead moment as well.
Got better.
So we will see how this all goes down in our next session. How'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, really good. I always enjoy these sessions. I never see situations like this, especially in combat, as like a disappointment or anything like that. It's more a case of this is just I see this as an alternate ending that we didn't think of. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I always think like, cool, now instead of just being murder hobos and just killing everybody, now we actually get to talk to them after the fight, and there's that kind of bond there almost. There was an interesting thing I wanted to mention, that I had Silvo dive behind the first bit of cover rather than go into a more strategically advantageous position, partially by accident and partially on purpose, because for him, having never really been in this situation before, he would just find the nearest thing to dive behind and take pot shots. It doesn't matter if there's doors behind him, but now he's probably going to be like, oh, okay, last time this happened, there were some doors behind me and people jumped me, so I'll try and find a better position. So it's without putting the party or himself in too much peril, it's all about him finding his kind of own experience path. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. If you want to find myself, I will be playing probably some lo-fi gaming tomorrow. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be restarting the lo-fi gaming streams on my own channel. You can follow me at Peripheral Mike. Tomorrow I'm probably going to be playing Unpacking, which I've played a little bit of on Xbox.
That should be good for lo-fi.
Absolutely adored it. Yeah, I've absolutely adored it. It's just, there's something about you just take really small, you just like packing items into like cupboards and like shelves, and there's something about it that just scratches an itch I didn't know I had. So yeah, tune in on my channel at probably about 4 p.m. my time, so 4 p.m. BST, GMT, UK time, 4 p.m. UK time. Google that and it'll translate it into your own time zones. But if anybody wants to join in, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, if you want to catch up with myself, you can follow me on socials at Peripheral Mike. Otherwise, stay beautiful, and I will see you next time.
Good stuff. Thanks, Mike. See you next month. Also, Saber Morthwheel, early on especially, had some serious healing work to do, and then I think was basically doing the best that Morthwheel could. I mean, the idea of pulling up the knotted rope was a good idea in that it really slowed down the mate's right, and the mate was just like failing his rolls constantly. He was just like, God damn it, why can't I get up? And that could have made things even worse if the mate showed up earlier on. So, and then at the end, Morthwheel was the one who really initially was like, drops down the shield, and everyone I think therefore was going to kind of take the cue a little bit from Morthwheel just because of the way the order worked. But it's a hopeless situation, right? And I think Morthwheel was like, this doesn't make sense to just go down in a blaze of glory. What for what? Like, live to fight another day, sort of thing. I'm guessing is what you were feeling. So it was interesting to see that kind of play out. And I will be interested to see how Morthwheel and the rest of you talk your way out of the brig, etc. next time. How'd you feel about today? Where will the fine folks see you next?
My brain is fried from that fight. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah,
good fight.
I mean, pocket healed Waves as much as I could, and then basically my plan after that was exactly as I did: was get to high ground, and at least in my head, I was trying to go for hopefully a cut off the head and the body will die with the captain. Who knows? Maybe if I'd got a higher damage roll, it might have made a difference. It might not. Maybe if I got him one extra round in, but that's all shoulda, couldas, wouldas, maybes. But that's what I was thinking. I think we were in a good position for that. But yeah, when you're in a case of like, what will hit first, my firebolt spell or his sword?
Yeah, that was a good moment too. The kind of like, up there, up top.
And if I had one spell left, I could have tried a sanctuary spell on waves, which means the captain would have had to pass us a wisdom saving throw or be forced to not do the attack.
Yeah.
But again, shoulda, couldas, and maybes. So here we are, surrendering again.
This won't always be the case.
And now we get to see who else's strings we're going to be dancing on the end of. So definitely something that's going to be sticking in Morthul's craw going forward, I think, particularly. Like some of the other party members might be a bit more, well, this is just another day in our life. Morthul's not a combat person. He is a tradesman, a craftsman, and he's getting swept up in these events, and it seems like there's more politics on the horizon.
Damn it.
Basically, everything that's happened to him since he started with this group has been because of politics. Stuff that's happened in his past has been because of politics. He is not happy about this. So we'll probably see a bit more of that going forward. But going forward for myself, I will be back here tomorrow evening. Haven't picked my game yet. Probably not No Man's Sky. People might be relieved or disappointed to hear. But I'll have a look. I might do a bit of Gas Station Simulator myself because I've been playing that a bit offline after watching 8-Bit stream. So I might show it a bit further in to show some stuff he wasn't able to on stream, maybe. I don't know. Possibly. And I'll be back on my channel on Thursday, probably carrying on with my playthrough of Terranigma on the SNES because we're getting quite far into that now.
Good stuff. I am going to be interested to look forward to it, and if you do, I'm do the gas station thing. I'll probably be lurking to watch that because that was a lot of fun watching that being played. Good stuff today. Thanks, Saber, as always. Thanks also to Pyron. And, Waves took this by the beak, as it were. Waves was, first of all, I thought the idea, if you were going to do a direct approach, and there were other ways, you could have tried to burn the ship to the ground. You could have tried to stealthily come on and, basically shiv a couple of the crew members or whatever. That was also an option. But if you were going to do the direct approach, you had to take some of the chess pieces off the board. So I think that knocking over the mate was not only funny, but also was probably the way to go. And then after that, you did resist a number of attacks with that AC, but there was just a lot of attacks. You got all of those individually doing it, and you've got the captain with his 2, and you've got everyone being go after the really freaky, colorful, and dangerous bird. You're obviously going to be the person that they're going to look at under the circumstances. So there was only so many times your high AC was not going to be challenged by these things, unfortunately. But again, the party, rather than see your death, the party surrendered so as not to see Waves leave the field. So when you wake up from your unconscious state, you'll be able to think about the fact that people sacrifice themselves to keep you alive. So how did you feel about today? Where will the fine folks find you next?
I don't regret pushing the first mate off the ship. I still think that was a solid plan. I do regret not taking Echo's inspiration for the first Thunderous Might attack on the captain, because I think that might have turned the tide there. That was a big mistake on my part, because if that had hit in that turn and not, I think, 2 turns later.
2 turns later, yeah.
That would have made a real difference. So that was a big mistake on my part. But not the shoving. The shoving was fine. I'm completely fine with the shoving. Not with my tactics there. The fine folks. Well, I still loved it. Sorry. I know this is not everybody will be happy with me, but I still loved it today. And
I think everyone. I mean, most people, except for Morthwill. But I think it was just like, God, what's going on? But no, I think most people really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good fight. I really enjoyed running that fight. I thought you all did really well. So.
So I'm going to be back on Thursday, and currently my plan is to stream Reverie Night Tactics, which came out today. but I will have to play it first to see if this is something I can stream and make sense of. If not, I might either revert back to Morrowind Unarmed, or maybe a quick playthrough of Strange Horticulture. I mean, I only unlocked one ending so far, and I think I'm really interested what can be done with the hunter in this game. And I feel like there's a few options which could put an interesting end there. And but yeah, so currently Reverie Night Tactics on Thursday is it. But I would also like to give a little shout out to our plans for the first week of February, which is the weekend 5th and 6th, where we're going to have a big charity event here in remembrance of Dialed, who died last year around this time. And we're going to have retro streamers from all over Twitch here. We're going to have an amazing GOG Showdown trivia event. An absolutely amazing GOG Showdown trivia event.
Yep.
And hope to collect a little bit of donations for the Quebec Cancer Cancer Center, Quebec Breast Cancer Center. Sorry, really difficult. Which is where Dialed was treated and was the charity of her choice. And we're gonna have a lot of really cool people over here. So even if you didn't plan on donating, just celebrate her memory with us would be really wonderful. So first weekend of February 5th and 6th. Please just be here and celebrate with us.
Good stuff. And yes, I concur with all of that. And great pleasure, everyone. I'm very, very excited for next month and seeing how the crew gets themselves out of this danger and moves things forward. But in the meantime, no shame to be had in what was a good fight, and we will see what happens next time. Chat, can we get some love for the amazing players of Pyron J, Darksaber 2K, Peripheral Mike, and Ananda? Great work, everybody. Players, I will see you all next month. Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, guys.
Alrighty, and that, everyone, is going to do it for us for this evening, I believe. I don't think we have another person after us. If there is somebody after me, then I owe them a huge apology. I hope that's not the case. I don't think we have a person coming up next, or otherwise, I think next person is not up till tomorrow. That's what I thought. Yeah. Biff McSkylark playing Always Awakening in Odalis, The Dark Call. And that should be fun times. You should check that out as well. So, but I got to rise up on out of here. I got to get going and pick up my daughter. So I'm going to rise up on out of here. I will be back on my own channel, not tomorrow or Thursday, but I'll be back on Friday with the rescheduled Esper Genesis, my space opera game. And then on Saturday, I will be playing a game of Tales from the Loop, which if you haven't had a chance to watch it, is an amazing, amazing game. There will be feels, I'm just letting you know, to benefit the Reach Out Response Network, which is a network in Toronto that deals with abuse. And you can come over to my channel and find out more details about that if you like. That'll be happening on Saturday. So Friday night and Saturday, I'll be there. And then that will be wrapping up, I believe, all of January for us. And then next month, we'll be back here. I should be back here on Tuesday. My guess is, I don't know yet, but my guess is I'll be back with Solasta coming up next Tuesday on Pen and Pixels, and then moving on after that. That is my guess. But yes, Tales from the Loop. And Tales from the Loop is going to be something that I play. It's pretty wild. Like Tales from the Loop as a game is very, very powerful. So it's just always has a real emotional effect on me. But that's going to be Saturday evening if you are interested. Otherwise, you folks should stick around. Should be back tomorrow here for more stuff on GOG.com. And as I say, I'll be back on my channel on Friday with some Esper Genesis Friday night. Thank you to everyone who made this an awesome stream. Please follow GOG if you haven't done so already. Please subscribe to GOG if you haven't done so already. And please consider clicking through and checking out our individual channels as well. And thank you so much to my amazing players today, Pyron Jade, Darksaber 2K, Peripheral Mike, and of course Ananda. Thank you to all of them and to all of you lovely people. And I will be back next month with more GOG, and of course we'll be back with more of Ghosts of Saltmarsh next month as well. Until then, everyone, please be good to each other, and I'll catch you folks soon. Bye for now.